very good morning, you unbelievably beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is your feel-good kickstart to a brand new day and a brand new month. I know, yes, it's probably the chilliest spring day on record, but it's here. Spring has sprung, and hopefully we'll get you into the right kind of mindset. A very good morning from my side, Graham Richards. Some good news to inspire you on this spring day, the 1st of September. We have award-winning singer and songwriter Shekinah in the studio. I'm going to let her wander in right now just to blow your minds. She is going to be joining us in studio to share more about her latest musical offering. She's been busy and her creative juices have been flowing over this last year. Trouble in Paradise is the spectacular result. She's also going to fill us in on how life has been since we last connected with her. So I think without further ado, let's bring her in.
I'm just trying to let you know.
Yes, we know.
No more.
That is Jamie's doppelganger. How many times in your life, first of all, you look gorgeous.
Thank you.
You look absolutely beautiful. How many times in your life have you been confused with?
So many times. Even on the show a couple of months ago, Tapelo McQueen, I was literally like, I thought you were Shekinah. And I'm like, when he heard the accent, he was like, no doubt, you are not South African.
She's a one of a kind, just like Jamie is a one of a kind. And of course, she'll be joining us. And we want to know from you guys, which is your favorite Shekinah song? Maybe even give us a few lines to prove it, because we just want to let you know that we are so excited to have her and you along for a 3-hour ride. And it looks like a very excited man at any given moment of any given day. Never mind spring day, but I reckon on spring day, probably a little bit more so. It's Nature Boy. Good morning, son.
Good morning, you beautiful souls. Now, I'm still with you. Is it Shekinah or is it not? I don't know. Let me know. Let us know. Of course, thank you for joining us the first day of spring. What a beautiful day. So much to celebrate. And that energy inside of us that we can also celebrate and emancipate this month. And that's the question we're asking you this morning. It's based on spring. And we want to know, have you got any incredible or crazy creations in your garden? Show us your beautiful creations in your garden. Come through on our social media channels this morning and let us know. We want to be inspired. Have you planted some seeds this winter? Are they about to spring? And yeah, if you've got any pictures to go along with that, please come on, send it through to us. We've got Facebook, we've got Instagram, we've got YouTube. We're all over the world reporting to you live. And first up, before we do anything else, let's kick it off with the news with Jamie Lee Domberg. See you in a bit.
Thank you so much, Nature Boy. Let's get you up to speed with what's happening in and around the world, starting with those national news. Now, people who spread fake news about COVID-19 vaccinations should face criminal charges, Health Minister Joe Pala said yesterday. Pala said disaster regulations contain a provision making disseminating fake news a criminal offence. He also acknowledged that the Health Department's response to fake news had been weak and a dramatic improvement was needed. He said a number of media houses had offered their assistance in transmitting the same message at no cost. The South African Revenue Service, or SARS as we know it, has begun piloting a number plate recognition system as Beitbridge border post, which aims to reduce processing delays and mitigate corruption. Beitbridge border crossing linking South Africa and Zimbabwe is the busiest on the continent. The sheer volume of freight, coupled with archaic processing systems, also makes the waiting times at the crossing some of the longest in the region. The new system will eliminate the need for hard copy SARS notices to be presented on entry and exit. On the international front, 4 states in northwestern Nigeria have implemented limits on fuel sales, weekly markets and movements via motorbikes in an effort to curb banditry. This to stop armed gangs who frequently travel by motorbike, camp out in forests and who have kidnapped hundreds of people in recent months. More than 1,000 students have been taken from schools across the northwest in an epidemic of kidnapping since December, while roads, private homes and even hospitals have become targets for armed robbery and kidnapping. And then staying with the international news, Pakistan's Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi has called on the international community to remain involved in Afghanistan to prevent a political vacuum and an economic collapse. Qureshi and German Foreign Minister Heiko Maas told a news conference in Islamabad, Pakistan, that instability in Afghanistan was in no one's interest. Maas said as soon as the Taliban honored its promise that Afghans would be safe at the airport in Kabul, Germany would be ready to make charter flights available. And then some major advancement for women empowerment in Kenya. A community in Kenya has found a sustainable way to feed orphan baby elephants using goat's milk. It's less costly and appears to be more nutritious. As a result, the Samburu women selling the goat's milk are financially less dependent on their husbands. Established in 2016, the Reteti Sanctuary rescues and also rehabilitates young elephants. It's run by the women of the Samburu community who built it in the mountains of northern Kenya. Reteti is the first indigenously owned sanctuary which rescues and also raises orphaned elephants with the ultimate goal of reintroducing them to the wild. The sanctuary is also about breaking down stereotypes and redefining wildlife management. It's the beginning of a transformation in the way the Samburu people relate to wild animals, and it's empowering Samburu women to be the first female elephant keepers in Africa. Basically, it is indeed a win-win situation. On that high note, that is where I leave your 6 o'clock news headlines. I will be back on the top of the hour. Here is Graham with the first look at the sports.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Let's start with the good news, and it just keeps getting better. In fact, at the Paralympics, Peter du Preez won gold in the men's H1 cycling time trial at the 2020 Tokyo Paralympics. The 41-year-old from Randburg won Team South Africa's overall 4th medal at the Games and 3rd gold. Then Cheryl James took South Africa's medal haul to 5 after securing the bronze medal in the women's T37 400-meter event. That while compatriot Liesl Gous finished in a very credible 6th position. So they keep racking up the medals. Brilliant efforts in that part of the world. Now, let's turn to the Rugby Championship. Not the best news, unfortunately. Springbok head coach Jacques Nienaber yesterday confirmed that prop Thomas du Toit and lock Argia Snyman will not be available for selection for the remainder of the Rugby Championship that we now know is going to play out in Australia. Du Toit returned to South Africa due to family bereavement, and Snyman was unable to make the trip due to personal reasons. The Boks will line up against Australia in the Gold Coast on the 12th of September. And then heartbreaking news really in the world of cricket. South African pace legend Dale Steyn has officially announced his retirement from all forms of the game. The 38-year-old, who has had constant run-ins with injuries over the last few years, particularly with his shoulder, played 93 tests, 125 ODIs and 47 T20 internationals for the country since his debut back in 2004. Steyn was also a key part of the Proteas side that rose to number 1 in the test rankings in 2012, and I think is widely regarded as one of the best paced bowlers to have ever played the game. So we certainly wish him well on the next phase of his career. But that's where we leave our sporting headlines for now. Let's set the tone for Spring Day and see what the weather has in store.
Thank you so much, G. Now, to start off our weather report, we're going to look at what is happening with the weather and the reek that it's having on the rest of the country. And we're starting off in the Free State, where the Fire Protection Association has issued a warning for a high fire danger until Friday. Now, the association says the higher temperatures, moderate winds, and lower humidity are conditions that can lead to wildfires. And the greatest danger is in the Garib and northwestern parts of the Free State, where farmers are advised not to work in open areas with machines that generate high heat. Now, farmers were also requested to have firefighting equipment handy, and meanwhile, residents of the South Hill of south of Joburg have now been without water for 6 days, and water tankers have been dispatched to the affected areas and will remain there until water is restored. Now, of course, spring has sprung, if you have not heard, which means our temperatures are slowly going to be rising. And before we wrap up winter entirely, we couldn't start spring without, of course, showing off some of these last snow images from our viewers from this past weekend. And starting us off this morning is Denise Frank, who shared this precious photo of her niece, Callan Peterson, who just had an absolutely fabulous time on Sunday, despite ending up soaking wet. And we usually see lush green fields from Tandeka Mkoza, from Mpendele, but however, this time, the view from a backyard shows off this white landscape covered in snow. Is that not just magnificent, especially from all the way down here in South Africa? Now, to look at the rest of the news, the rest of the weather in and around the country, we're starting off off with Polokwane, and it's a low of 9 and a high of 24. Mbombela has a low of 14 and a high of 19. Pretoria, you've got a high of 26, starting off at 9 degrees. Joburg, very similar, a high of 24, starting off at 8 degrees Celsius. Mahikeng, starting off at 12 degrees and moving all the way up to 29. Klerksdorp, very similar, starting off with a low of 11 and a high of 29. Kimberley, a little bit similar too, starting off with a low of 12 and a high of 26. Bloemfontein, a little bit lower than that, starting off on 7 degrees Celsius and moving all the way up to 24 degrees. And moving over to Richards Bay, you've got a low of 14 and a high of 18 degrees with a 71% chance of rain coming through. Pietermaritzburg, very similar, a low of 8 and a high of 17 with a 58% chance of rain. Durban can expect some rain with a low of 16 and a high of 19 degrees. Mthatha, chilly, 5 degrees to start your day and then moving all the way up to 16 degrees Celsius. East London, very similar with 55% chance of rain coming through. Your high for the day will reach 15 degrees. Cradock starting off with a chilly 2 degrees Celsius and moving all the way up to 20 degrees. Berga starting off with a 12-degree low, 25% chance of rain coming through, but you're moving up to 15 degrees. And then George, a low of 17 and a high of 13 degrees. The Cape Town City, 7 is your low today, and then you'll move all the way up to 16 degrees Celsius with no chance of rain expected. Worcester, a low of 4 and a high of 17. And Sutherland, a chilly low of 2 degrees, moving all the way up to 15 degrees Celsius. And last but not least, of course, Uppington, a low of 9 and a high of 32. That's a roundup of our weather this morning. So much magic to come in the show. And talking about magic, let's speak about our magic presenter, Shekinah. Jamie, who is it? I don't know.
So
Spring
Jamie,
is here, everybody.
are you nervous?
I am so nervous. I didn't sleep last night. I woke up at 3 o'clock this morning and I was literally like, she's here.
Is it like me when basically any sportsman walks
Exactly
into the
like
studio?
that,
Okay.
exactly like that.
No, I
I'm going to
get
have
that.
like a fangirl moment.
Do it.
So when we sit down with her, can I just smile the entire time? I'm just going to sit there like, hi.
smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave. We cannot wait to reconnect with that incredible songstress. She's also just the most lovely human being, and we'll be catching up with Shekinah after this. Welcome back, you beautiful souls. We promised you a little inspiration on the first day of spring, and here it is. Spring is slowly thawing us out. I know it's probably a little bit chilly still this morning, but the flowers are clearly in full bloom. The artist who is joining us this morning has also been in full bloom since she dropped her unbelievably successful certified platinum debut album, Rose Gold, in 2017. She is the award-winning singer and songwriter. Give me a round of applause, Chicana! Oh, she's here right now, and we are going to get the lowdown on the work that she has been doing on her sophomore album, Trouble in Paradise. But let's give her another warm welcome because we love her so much.
Yay!
You are like your own hype girl. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I want to thank me. Thank you.
Give yourself a Lifetime Achievement Award because you've earned it.
Thank you.
So I don't know if you know this, but you've got a bit of a stalker fan here, okay?
No, we know this. Like, she knows this already.
We know.
I do want to apologize for going to events and pretending to be you all the time. Like, people come up to me like, "Are you Shekinah?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
No, thank you.
And then I start singing, and then they're like, "No, it's not." So
thank you. No.
All over. But it's so good to be able to connect with you finally, not in a virtual space, but actually in studio.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. You've been taking a bit of a break. You've been taking a bit of a back step with music. You were off social media for a while, but you're back.
Back like I never
Trouble
left.
in Paradise is here. Tell us all about the process in creating this new album.
Oh, super fun. I think I got a lot of time to work on. I got 4 years. But also it was just really beautiful because I think it was a complete contrast from Rose Gold. Rose Gold was, you know, young me. Everything was just rose-tinted shades. And Trouble in Paradise is the girl that pays tax, buys toilet paper, has heartbreak.
Has dealt with Corona.
Has Corona. But it was beautiful. I think in the beginning of the pandemic, I got time to be in studio. I was off the road. I enjoyed that. But now I'm just ready to get back now that the music is done. Yeah.
Strange time for all artists. Globally, we've connected. It's almost become like this global village, but every artist seems to have gone into that introspective place.
I know.
Pushed their skills level up. You seem to be doing something new with your voice, playing around with new sounds, going a little bit deeper, almost honing that instrument. Why that shift? Was it important for you to embody the new message in a new style, or is this just something that organically happens when you've got a voice as amazing as yours that you can just play around with in that way? What has driven the physical creative process with this new work?
I think age and age and time, but definitely, you know, I think you have to grow with your audience, and I think everyone collectively was in an introspective space. So we have to be there with our people, just want to resonate with everyone, understand what they're going through, and in order to do that, you kind of really have to live and be real and be true to yourself, and doing so, you realize that we are all feeling the same way. So yeah, I like to kind of be with everyone where they are, and that requires me to be real.
I'm just imagining the producers going, lower, no, lower, it's not sad enough, lower.
Or like, that's very sad. Are you sure you want to put that?
But you're really taking us, and I like what you said, this one is totally different.
Yeah.
Because it's taking us on a journey. It's 12 songs. I mean, you talk about your insecurities.
Yes.
You talk about Fixate, which you collaborated with Beatty, a Kenyan artist. I mean, that must be amazing to be able to put a piece of yourself into music and now have the entire world sit up and listen to you.
It is, it's beautiful, and I think it's even more beautiful when it resonates with everyone. I was very nervous, guys. Like, I didn't want the album to drop, but then eventually I had to do it. But I think the thing that shocked me the most was everyone was feeling insecure. It's the shortest song on the album, but it's one of the most streamed, and I think it made me feel better about being super honest, because I didn't want to tell anyone I was insecure. You just want to portray this beautiful, strong image and strength. But the best thing about putting the album out was realizing that everyone felt that way. Yeah,
it's been a shared human experience over this last, and everyone from Adam Duritz of the Counting Crows to South Africa, everyone's been feeling the same vibe. You seem to place an importance on your music videos, and I don't mean that other artists don't, but for you it seems to be a part of the process that you really do love. You worked with Monde Gomere for this one. What was that creative process like, and are you comfortable because there was some pretty...
I mean, if I look
think
that
you do
good, if I look that good, please confirm or deny, do I look this good?
I once got confused for Danny Kaye. Can I be the love interest?
No, please.
And then we can do the
Look
duet.
at the stature.
100%, yes. This is, you confirmed it, right?
Yes.
This is it.
It's confirmed.
Yeah.
It's done deal. Sign on the dotted
Period.
line. We love you. The country
I love
loves
you guys. Thank you.
Love you.
You just keep raising the bar, which I think is just so important that we have artists that are leading the charge. And this new work, I think people are going to love being able to just really sink into it. It's so beautiful. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
We cannot wait to see you with mic in hand. She ain't going nowhere.
I'm here.
The fangirl moment is going to continue for the next 3 hours. And of course, you can stay connected with us. We asked you a little bit earlier, what's your favorite song from this songstress? Let us know by singing a few bars. We'd love to see your musical talents, and who knows, you might just make it into a music video.
Take it back.
Performing alongside me as the lovely.
Listen, I definitely can't argue with that. And when she sings, flowers definitely bloom. And speaking of which, Teresa has a sweet recipe with floral notes just for you.
Fruits of the forest from Clover just added real cereal crunch. A symphony of fruit, oats, seeds, and granola crunch. Fruits of the forest. Real fruit, real cereal, real taste.
Made with love by Clover.
I apologize to everyone in South Africa, but I have to do this. Hey, it's my spring sprung dance. I'm just excited. It's spring. You can't blame me. It's nature for you. And of course, with it being Spring Day, we want to inspire you with our Fruits of the Forest quick Danish pastry to celebrate the start of a new season. And of course, the beautiful, illustrious Teresa is here to show us how. How are we going to do this? It's the spring dance. I'm gonna get it hooked with everybody today.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
So what's happening? We've got some beautiful fruits here.
Yes,
They're bright.
yes.
They look healthy. They look like something I just want to tuck into. But before I do that, we're going to do something else with them, right?
We're going to put them in our Danish pastry, which is so easy to put together.
Okay.
So
it
what I've
looks
got
like
here,
something. I have to just interrupt because
Yeah.
pastries are something that I think a chef or anyone that's cooking doesn't really attempt. It's very intimidating.
Yeah.
It looks like artistry more than anything else. So I'm really having to pay attention here.
It's really
Zanzi, do the same thing.
not
trust me.
so difficult, I
Okay.
promise you. So I've got some puff pastry here. You can make your own, or you can just buy some from the
Alright.
store. Very, very easy. Roll it out on your floured surface,
Okay.
and then I'm going to cut it in half lengthways.
Alright.
Like that. So you end up with your 2 strips, just like
It's
that.
just like a top and bottom.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And then what we're going to do is put our fruits of the forest with cereals.
Nice.
So you can use any of the varieties. We're using strawberry and cranberry today.
Okay.
And just going to pop that in the middle.
I love the fact that I mean, after working with us quite a bit on the show right now, it's interesting to see how well we can incorporate Fruits of the Forest into so many different meals.
Yes.
It's also the fact that it's really, really creamy. I love the fact that it's got the cereal dairy snack. I mentioned the creamy taste. It's got crunchy fruit. It's got oats, granola, and sunflower seeds. So it's not your average cream going in here right now. This is the good stuff.
Right, what I'm going to do is just pop that on our tray.
Okay.
There we go.
So this is kind of like the sauce, the stuff that keeps it all together.
Exactly. It's
Okay,
going to help
okay, I
our
see
fruits
you.
to stick on there.
And normally you'd have to kind of concoct your own sort of
Sauce.
yeah, which would take a lot of
frangipani
time.
or something. Yeah, so,
So
this
I'm here
is
for
super,
this.
super easy. And then you can adapt it as well. So we're using a mixture of berries today, but you could use any fruit. I'm
And I
thinking-
suppose use some of your favorites as well. Get
Yeah,
creative, get the family involved. Yeah.
I mean, with summer around the corner, I'm thinking stone fruit would be amazing.
Ooh,
So plums,
interesting. Nice,
peaches,
yeah.
Anything like that. And you don't have to pre-cook it. If you just cut it up thinly, it'll bake in the oven.
And it's almost like
absolutely
a little bit of
perfect.
breakfast inside a pastry, if you think
Yeah,
about it, right?
I would totally have this for breakfast. I like the way you think. So then what I've done, you can see I've just left a border around
Yeah.
the edge of the pastry. And I'm just going to brush that with some water.
Okay, and you need
this
to
will
obviously
help.
tell me exactly why you're doing this, because
So
this
this
is
is-
weird. Why are we doing this? Why are you putting what's going
It's
on?
basically the
Okay.
glue. So it's going to stick the top pastry to the bottom pastry.
All right,
That's
I got
all
you.
it is.
I
It's just going to
got
make
you.
your life a little bit easier.
Without the water, it just wouldn't stick as
It
well,
wouldn't
right?
stick so
Okay.
nicely. So we're going to pop that on. And then we're going to crimp it together. So you can do fancy crimping, or you can just use a fork, which is a lot easier. And you're
I'm
just
here for
going
the ease.
Yes.
Yeah, for these, that's 2 hacks already. With the crump
Definitely.
and with the goodness inside, of course,
Oh,
using
it's
the
gonna
fruits
be
of the forest.
Beautiful. So you just go all the way around.
Okay.
And yeah, it's as easy as that. I mean, how long did that take? Couple of minutes.
I am confused because I'm like waiting for some more steps here. Is that it?
Well, we're almost there.
Looks like it.
So what we're going to do now is just brush some egg over the top.
Okay.
And this gives it a beautiful golden colour. You can see the one we did a bit earlier. It's got that stunning colour.
It looks good, and I got to ask
over.
you, what is the stuff on top of that? How did you make that happen?
That's an icing. Do you want to help us make that?
All right, let's quickly get that done.
So we've
What do
got
we
some
do with
icing
that?
sugar, and we're going to put some fruits of the forest into that. So about 2 spoons.
Okay.
And just whisk it up until it's smooth
All right.
and creamy, and that is going to get drizzled on once the Danish is baked.
Simple as that.
So
wow,
just
Teresa
finishes it
coming
off.
through with the good stuff, showing us exactly how it's done. If you want to check any of these steps out, then of course we've got a recap for you. It's as simple as making the icing on top of it. Maybe a little bit trickier, but it's a lot of fun as well. You can get creative, you can be inspired, and you can check out expressoshow.com for this recipe inspiration. If you missed any of these steps, shame on you, but don't worry, we got you covered in Mzansi. Check it out.
Made with love by Clover.
Purity, as your partner along your parenting journey, are also partnering with Cotlands to help raise 1 million rand towards early childhood development. For every Purity toiletry product purchased this August and September, Purity will donate 1 rand to Cotlands. Together with Purity, you too can help SA's little ones start their big journey and reach their full potential. Another Purity promise fulfilled.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Your timing is perfect. We love giving everyone a chance to win on this show, but this one is just for the ladies. You guys stand a chance to win one of 4 unbelievable pamper packs worth 500 rand, courtesy of Mina, and that includes a whole bunch of delicious delights and treats to tackle the cravings head on.
Ooh, I'm just thinking of all that chocolate that I want when it's that time of the month.
When you need it.
To enter, all you have to do is tell us what your monthly self-care routine is when Mina comes to visit. That time of the month, we all know, ladies. Now, maybe you love to take a long bubble bath or snacking on chocolates and watching 10 movies in a row, whatever it is.
Do what you gotta do, girl.
Do what you gotta do. Let us know on the Expresso Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram competition post using that hashtag the future is Mina. Now, you have until 11 a.m. today to enter, and those terms and conditions can be found on our website, expressoshow.com. I'm just thinking of all the chocolate that I want right now.
All the best of luck.
Now, of course, with all the magic coming through on the show, we thought, why not just add in a little bit more movement, some grooving, and we're doing something special. And I'm always asking myself, why do they do this to me? They get a dance instructor to dance with me when I cannot dance. Come on, why are you doing this? I'm only playing. I'm here for it. And of course, here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, we want to ensure that you also keep your blood pumping through dance fitness. And dance exercises are known to improve both mental and physical health, such as building muscles and boosting your mood. Now, this morning, instructor and founder of bar platform BeFit Africa, Ionthe Africa, joins us live in the studio for our Wednesday workout. Welcome to the studio. How are you doing this morning?
You good, thanks, and you.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
No, don't be. No. It's going to be super
Give me a big weight. Give me a dumbbell. I'm good, but I'm scared.
No, you'll be fine, man.
This is all I got.
Oh, goodness. We love a good shimmy. We can work with that.
All right, well, educate me, school me, and maybe the rest of Mzansi as well. Take us through this awesome workout. What are we doing?
All right, so we're going to just start like feet below the hips, and then we're just going to warm up, so side to side. If Mr. DJ could maybe
Okay, you really just added hips in. You didn't tell me anything about that.
No, you can do whatever you want. Even if you're going to be like a stick, that's fine.
Okay.
But we're just going to go side to side. So just try and feel the beat. Find the beat.
Feel it. Finding it.
Finding it. Great, okay.
Hips are coming alive. Come on, wake up.
Okay, so we're going to go into a step touch, side to side, right to left. So just a simple step touch. So you're going to go step, touch, step, touch, step, touch.
Okay.
And I mean, you can have fun with your arms.
Okay.
Just enjoy it. Feel the groove. There we go. We're going to add a double step touch. So we're going to go twice. So we're going to go double. And you're going to tap in front, double.
Okay.
Give me a nice cross step. There we go. And tap. And tap.
Sorry, I'm concentrating a lot here. Just don't mind me.
Yes. Keep that concentration. Just try and smile through it. Okay, give me 2 more and 1 more. Then we're going to start with the box step to the right. So we're going to go box step, forward, back, forward.
Okay, I got you.
Back.
I got you. I think I got
Another one. Then we're going to do 2 hip rolls to the right. Hip roll. Hip roll. Then we're going to go left.
Whoa.
Then left. Another one.
Okay.
And then 2 hip rolls. Hip roll.
Hip roll.
Then right again.
Okay.
There we go. There you got it.
Okay, now hip roll coming up.
No, 1 more. So
Okay.
3 of these, and then we're going to go 2 hip rolls. 3 to the left. Let's go left and back.
Okay.
Number 2 and back. Number 3 and back.
Hip roll.
There we
Hip
go.
roll.
All right, so I'm going to add it a little bit more. Good, you see you got it.
Getting me?
Okay, so we're going to go down. You're going to give me a little like a knee pop here.
Wow, how did you do that?
Out.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You just did it.
Out and out.
Wow. Okay.
There we go. Just get that. Right with your feet with it.
Bow.
Hey.
Bow.
And out.
Look, if you can't dance, you can still have fun, of course, and I won't lie. I am feeling it in the legs already. They're burning. I'm feeling like I've done a workout, so I see what you're onto here. Yeah, I see you.
Just a little bit longer. You're going to feel it.
All right, any more moves?
Yes, I think we like add them all together.
Yeah, wow, okay, let's try. Let's try.
Okay.
Talk me through it as we go. Mzansi.
Okay,
Join me for
perfect.
this one as well.
All right.
I'm ready, I think.
Okay, I think you're ready. Okay, so let's just start with the hips again, side to side.
Okay.
Side to side. So this is your base. If you feel like you've lost it, just come back to the hips and just pick it up. There we go.
I found it. I think I found my hips. Yeah. Yeah.
Step touch.
Yeah.
Okay, get ready. So we're gonna go step touch side to side.
Okay,
Right
ready.
to left. In 4,
Which side
3,
again first?
2, right.
Okay.
There we go. So we go right, left, right, left. Get into it. Right, left. Last 2. Now double time. We go. Step. No, double,
Oh, no.
double. Double. Now we go box step. Right foot.
Yeah, I'm ready
Let's
for it.
go. Forward,
2.
forward.
Yeah.
Yes, and 2 more.
Yeah.
And last one.
Yeah, in the
Hip
zone.
roll.
Hip roll.
Yes,
Hip
there we go.
roll,
To
left
the
side.
left.
Yeah, I'm learning. I think I got it. Mother, watch me dance. Hip
Now hip
roll.
roll. There we go. Now we
Yeah.
pop the knees. We go pop.
Okay, still gotta learn this one. Pop, 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 pop. Yeah, damn it, you've been absolutely amazing. You taught me how to almost dance. I got close, I think I almost got it. But of course, you can find her online. She's got some incredible workouts. I'm sure she's doing some online one-on-ones too. So find her, it's a ball of fun. I'm actually feeling like I did a proper workout here. That was so much fun. Thank you so
Awesome,
much.
thank you.
Let the magic continue.
Nourish your skin with Ingram's Camphor Cream, enriched with camphor and glycerine. Trusted to restore and repair dry skin. Ingram's, your skin, your brave.
Welcome back. Your Live Shekinah is here. And we're going to put it to the test this morning against her doppelganger, Jamie Lee Domberg, who is a master at guess the lyric kind of games.
No.
But today we are going to spice things up just a little bit by playing our first round of Guess the Track, the emoji edition. I've seen the emojis. They are awesome. So ladies, this is how it's going to work. A series of different emojis are going to pop up on screen, and you're going to have to then guess the correct lyrics that are being represented in picture form. And once you've gotten it, maybe sing us a little line if you can. It's not that difficult. Even I could get a couple of them, okay?
I'm going to let you sing all the songs, so then it's a concert for us. So just go
and
everyone.
because none of them are gospel, you can't make any up, Jamie, okay? But it's actually really cute. These are, I think you should be able to nail these, okay? I have high hopes, but it's a showdown, so I want the competitive spirit to come out, okay? So the first one, and we'll start with you. As the guest, we will give you the right. We're going to put it up on screen right now. Take a look at that. We have an apple and we have some jeans.
Apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. Okay, I love that. Am I right? Over her. I don't know the lyrics, but it's Flow Rider.
Yep, 100%, girl. You smashed it. 1 point in the bank. You see,
okay.
Easy peasy.
You win this, guys.
This one's quite old. Okay, so it might predate you, Jamie. Okay, but it's still a classic. We are doing. There's a lock. There is a no entry sign. There is a little cloud and an angel. Oh, my bad. There is a leaf, a door, and a lock.
I know this. Okay, no, it's not my turn.
Green door lock.
No!
Just say the word leaf. Say leave.
I'm going to leave the door open.
I will leave the door. I love it.
I didn't get that at first.
Yeah, but
It took
no,
a
I'll
while.
give it
It
to
took
you.
a while.
I'll give it to you because you went into the fields. You went into the fields with that one. Okay, so now this one you definitely should get, okay? This particular artist is like a spirit animal for us. Okay, definitely for you after what you explained this morning. Please bring up our list of emojis. You know it.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Yes, girl!
Wow. I was like Dua Lipa with the baby, and then I'm like, nah.
I was like,
Spot
box
on.
the white baby.
Yeah, box the white baby.
No, like, I didn't get that.
Boxer white baby. Please, okay? Just, that was awesome. All right. Now we're going to bring up another one. Again, this one is an oldie, but it's an absolute classic.
Love it.
Oh, dancing queen, young and sweet, only sacred.
See, it's a lot easier.
When you start thinking like that.
Absolutely beautiful, which means, Jamie, you're the winner.
Which,
no.
No, it's a draw. It's a tie.
Which Jamie?
Which Jamie? Yeah. Yay!
It is actually a little bit uncanny when I've got the two of you sitting next to each other with a smile. Absolutely beautiful. So in just a moment, we're going to have an opportunity to delve into the short film that is this amazing music video. Set the premise for us so the viewers can delve into the emotion of it with us. What was the brief when you had to step up and perform this? What were you trying to capture?
So at first, you write a song for someone else, and then you realize it's for yourself, and then you realize everything you put on everyone.
Something like you're living a life out loud where you're confronted with yourself every day. But the bravery in sharing that with your fans, I love it. When her, obviously, lilting voice reaches our ears, we can't help but fixate on award-winning singer and songwriter Shekinah, and she is now showcasing the music video for her single Fixate off her latest album Trouble in Paradise, which forms part of an exquisite short film. Enjoy. Whoa, how proud does that make you feel?
Oh, I haven't seen it in so long. It was so beautiful to watch.
It is
Can I
gorgeous.
say one
Monde,
thing?
well done, brother.
So beautiful to see you've grown so much. Like, just taking it back to 2017 to see you now in that space, just your voice is so different. Like, you are a different person. Congratulations, girl. Fixate is a treffer.
Thank
you. It's a treffer.
Beautiful. Speaks volumes, holds a mirror up to yourself. Absolutely beautiful. Shekinah's going to be back with two more amazing, breathtaking musical offerings just for you this morning. Don't move a muscle.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. I think I'm still in the fields of Fixate, man. It was such a beautiful music video. I love it when South African artists raise the bar like that. It's just absolutely stunning. So nice having Shekinah in studio. But, of course, she spent every cent of her budget on that music video, and that kind of sets the tone for the conversation we're about to have.
Yeah, certainly. Now, whether it's an inheritance, an insurance policy, a massive sale, or some crazy luck, we all dream of that moment when, you know, a big sum of money becomes available to us, maybe playing the lotto, I don't know. But regardless of where that money is coming from, in the real world, where there are some rules, okay? Regulations and tax laws that come into play before that money is yours. There is the reality. So today, we are going to be finding out what you would do in another round of Would You Rather. Boys, are you ready for this one?
Okay, set the premise.
I'll set it for you guys. Okay. An amount of $500,000 has just been made available to you, but you have two payment options.
Okay.
So will you go, would you rather go with A, take the full lump sum, but it is heavily taxed? Or go with B, receive monthly installments that are paid to you over a few years. Think about it wisely. Okay?
This is work out something at you. So, am I right in saying like roughly around 100,000 Rand will get deducted from you potentially?
It depends, man. I'm thinking, is it 14%? Is it 25%? Is it 40%? With that amount of money, I just don't know what it is. But either way, you're going to lose like,
Look, what we worked out, like
plus,
20% alone is like close to 100,000 Rand, right? So, I mean, on that premise, I'm like, no, man, stuff the tax, man. That's a lot of money. You know
for me,
what I mean?
these things would be very much tied to what's happening at the moment. So if I needed a quick cash injection, then obviously you bite the bullet and go for it. But obviously, it would be great to have that. Imagine knowing that you've got that extra cushion coming in every month. That long-term goal, help you to budget on the long term. So I'm going to do something that's quite out of character and say I'd go for the long haul, man.
Gee, we're maturing, man.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
It's the journey.
Ask me tomorrow and I might say, nah, give me the money, man.
So my heart says stuff the tax, man, genuinely. But I have to be honest with myself and think that I think I'll probably blow that cash. And a lump sum is just going to kind of just throw me out. getting paid off per month is going to kind of keep me in a budget conscious mindset. It's kind of going to keep me more level-headed at the same time. I think I'm not kind of guy that if $500,000 in front of my eyes, look, I'm already thinking some crazy
I can spend money. I will spend R500,000 in one day.
It's possible, G. I mean, just a nice young caddy, you know, kicking it back.
That's
stuff's expensive, man. So yeah. But of course, the real wisdom hopefully will come from you guys this morning, and you weighed in on the conversation. So let's see what you had to say about this one.
Dorothy Daniels coming through and saying somewhere along the lines of B, the taxman will find
somewhere there.
The taxman will find a reason why it must be taxed anyway. Okay, I see.
Yeah. Jeanette Rass says option B, taking the money in monthly installments, will guarantee that you get at least the same original amount or even more. Paying income tax on that amount takes a big chunk away. So yeah.
But it happens anyway. You got to pay tax, man.
You can't avoid it, but there's a level of what you do want to avoid. Look, I think it's Chanel Mumsmimi, I think, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, says, Mumsami says, B, definitely B. My minimum wage is never enough. I'm left scratching my head every month, and knowing how I'm going to get through the month, option B would take the headache away.
Completely. I mean, I'm of that opinion at the moment in this post-COVID recovery of layering salaries. So I'm trying to build incomes, regular incomes, so that you can, as you pointed out, the keyword, budget.
I like that.
So that you can budget around what you need. That's key for me, man.
Look, more comments coming through, and I think Mzansi's loving this conversation. Ponso says, option A, I would start up my farming business project without any financial hassles, and we recover the heavily taxed in just a few months of a year. Then everything is sorted. Once the business starts generating profits, I pay off every debt real quick. With option B, I might not live to not get all that money.
Oh, wow.
Life is too short. So with option A, the money will be in my account in case anything happens to me. My daughter and family will have it without any legal complications.
He has thought about this. I'm changing
my answer as well. I'm going with A. Ponso just convinced me
Life is short now. Life is short. Wow. Okay.
Rashida also weighed in. She said B would definitely be a better option. Monthly installments will do for me. At least you get to know what to do with it.
That is true. I like that. But I'm still convinced. I got convinced. And Tombi says I would opt for B. It'll help to have an income every month over a few years, sorry. I would opt for this option because I can't scroll up any further and see what's left of the option because he's currently unemployed. Tombi, I'm very sorry about that. I know this time is quite difficult, but I do think that Mzansi is quite level-headed at the moment. Option B seems to be quite a particular
but
choice.
again, I suppose it's where you sit in your own life cycle. Do you need that cash injection to start a business, to take care of debts? Debt consolidation for so many of us right now is of paramount importance. Or do you need the income? Do you need some kind of steady trajectory, some safety in that so that you can budget around the money that you know is going to be coming in for a fixed period? Very interesting one this morning.
Very interesting indeed. Now look, our finances are a personal journey and it's always advisable to speak to the experts to guide you. So if you're looking to plan... That's not us.
Clearly not.
So if you are looking to plan your future, your financial future, and you need some guidance, then reach out to the team at Nedbank. You can find them online at nedbank.co.za, and we're going to be sitting here figuring out if we're definitely going to do A. I'm A.
I think I want the cash now.
Indulge your desires. Be swept away by the fragrance of descent. Take the plunge into impulsive spending until you find yourself deeper and deeper, drowning in debt. In this world of temptation, do you want a bank that takes your money or a bank that takes your money seriously?
Thank you so much. Well, the time is 2 minutes before 7 o'clock. Time to have another look at those news headlines. Starting with your national news, the Republic of Ireland is the latest country to ease travel restrictions for South African visitors. Under the new regulations, fully vaccinated travellers or those with official proof of recovery from COVID-19 are not required to quarantine. But its neighbour, the United Kingdom, is unrelenting in its ban on South African travellers despite fierce lobbying. Ireland recognises travellers as being fully vaccinated 7 days after the second dose of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine and 14 days after the single dose of the Johnson & Johnson jab. And then people who spread fake news about COVID-19 vaccinations should face criminal charges, Health Minister Joe Phala said yesterday. Phala said disaster regulations contain a provision making disseminating fake news a criminal offence. He acknowledged that the Health Department's response to fake news had been weak and dramatic improvement was needed. He said a number of media houses has offered their assistance in transmitting the same message at no cost. Then looking to news further abroad, tens of thousands of people have been evacuated from the shores of Lake Tahoe in Northern California in the U.S. as a major wildfire continues to spread. The Caldor fire has already destroyed some 191,000 acres. More than 3,500 firefighters have been deployed to combat the blaze. The Caldor fire is one of 7 blazes currently active in California. The Dixie fire, raging since mid-July, is the second largest in California's history. Climate change increases the risk of the hot, dry weather that is likely to fuel the wildfires as well. And then 4 states in northwestern Nigeria have implemented limits on fuel sales, weekly markets and movements via motorbikes in an effort to curb banditry. This to stop armed gangs who frequently travel by motorbike, camp out in forests and who have kidnapped hundreds of people in recent months. More than 1,000 students have been taken from schools across the northwest in an epidemic of kidnapping since December, while roads, private homes and even hospitals have become targets for armed robbery and kidnapping. And then finally, some news from the world of entertainment. After the popular Cape Town musician, the Kiffness, and his wife, Judith, his Kiff wife, as he puts it, announced that they are expecting their first child, they decided to remix what sounds like a Venga Boys melody into their new collaboration with a rat, Veronica, which originally made waves on TikTok. The two of them belted out, "If you're alone and you need a rat, ooh, Veronica, won't you play me your harmonica? Your melody makes me happy, won't you be my rat tonight?" The original video of Veronica clocked over 700,000 views on TikTok, with most users saying that this is their favorite video on the internet. Meanwhile, on Facebook, the Kiffness fans are loving his remixes with different animals. The Kiffness says during a recent scan, the baby's heartbeat sounded a bit like a techno tune. He added, and I quote, "So naturally, my wife and I took the opportunity to make a song with our little baby boy who is due in January," and clearly you can see that everyone is jamming along. On that note, that is where I wrap your 7 o'clock news headlines. I will be back on the top of the hour. Here is G coming in with another sports headlines.
Don't worry, Laga Cat, we still love you. Let's start with the Paralympics. Peter Dupré has won gold in the men's H1 cycling time trial at the 2020 Tokyo Paralympics. The 41-year-old from Randburg won Team South Africa's overall 4th medal at the time of the Games and the 3rd gold now. Then Cheryl James took South Africa's medal haul to 5 after securing the bronze medal in the women's T37 400-meter event. That while compatriot Liesl Gous put in a brilliant performance, finishing in 6th position. Then not the best news from the Springbok camp. Springbok head coach Jacques Nienaber yesterday confirmed that propped Thomas du Toit and lock Argeir Snyman will not be available for selection for the remainder of the Rugby Championship playing out in Australia. Du Toit returned to South Africa due to family bereavements, and Snyman was unable to make the trip due to personal reasons. So the Boks will line up against Australia in Gold Coast on the 12th of this month. And then some heartbreaking news really in cricket. South African pace legend Dale Steyn has announced his official retirement from all forms of the game. The 38-year-old, who has constant run-ins with injuries over the last few years, played 93 tests, 125 ODIs and 47 T20 internationals for South Africa since making his debut in 2004. Steyn was also a key part of that Proteas side that rose to #1 in the test rankings in 2012 and is regarded as by many as one of the best paced bowlers to have ever played the game, and certainly has been a servant of the flag. So we salute him and we wish him well on the next phase of his journey. But that's where we leave our sporting headlines for this hour. We'll touch on them again at 8 o'clock. Right now, let's set the tone for this spring day with a bit of a weather report.
Starting this weather report with something exciting and something that's really, truly inspiring. Now, authorities in the French capital of Paris are forcing drivers to slow down, having set a speed limit of 30 kilometers per hour on almost all the city's roads in a bid to reduce pollution. Now, to further dissuade drivers from taking vehicles into the city, authorities are also doing away with 60,000 of Paris's 144,000 parking spaces on public roads. Now, some sidewalks will be widened, allowing more walking space, as well as trees and plants and new cycle lanes, which will be installed. Now, the Paris Deputy Mayor David Belliard said he hoped that the new speed limit would put more people off driving altogether and encourage more walking and use of public transport and bikes. He said apart from an environmental improvement, the 30 kilometer per hour limit will also improve safety for cyclists and pedestrians, reducing the noise, and general city calmness will ensue. Now, while Paris may be slowing their traffic, we love taking a moment to slow down and appreciate a new day as the sun has risen. Now, Michelle Hendricks took from Easterplaat, Cape Town, this picture captured, which is showing another beautiful shot as the sun is coming up. And then a family favorite of ours, and Tokozo Theo Makatini from Joburg shared this stunning shot of the sun breaking through the clouds in the distance and casting a ray across the sky. We absolutely love it. Keep coming through with those beautiful shots because we love to share the magic with you, Mzansi. Now, taking a look at our local weather, we're starting off in Polokwane with a low of 9 and a high of 24. We're moving up to Mbombela with a low of 14 and a high of 19 degrees. Pretoria starts on a low of 9 and a high of 26 degrees. Johannesburg, a low of 8 and a high of 24. Mahikeng, a low of 12 and a high of 29. Klerksdorp, you'll start your day on 11 degrees Celsius and move all the way up to 29 degrees. Kimberley, you're starting off at 12 and moving all the way up to 26 degrees for the day. Bloemfontein, very similar with a low of 7 and a high of 24 degrees. Richards Bay, a rainy day expected with 71% chance of rain, a low of 14 and a high of 18. With Pietermaritzburg, very similar, 58% chance of rain, starting off at 8 and moving up to 17 degrees Celsius. Durban can expect similar rain conditions with a low of 16 degrees and a high of 19. And Mthatha slowing down on the rain a little bit with a slower or lighter percent, only 12% chance coming through with a low of 5 and a high of 16 degrees. East London, you start your day on 12, ending off on 15-degree highs with 55% chance of rain coming through. And then Craddock, you're starting on a chilly low of 20 and a high of, a chilly low of 2 degrees and a high of 20. Berga, you're starting off on 12, moving all the way up to only 15 degrees Celsius with 25% chance of rain coming through. And George, you start your day on 7 and moving all the way up to 13 degrees Celsius. Cape Town, you'll start your day on 7 and move all the way up to 16 degrees Celsius. Worcester reaching a maximum of 17 degrees, starting off on 4. Sutherland, a chilly start your day with 2 degrees Celsius, moving all the way up to 15 degrees. And last but not least, starting your day on 9 degrees will be Uppington's region, moving all the way up to a scorcher at 31 degrees Celsius. That's a roundup of our weather. Let's find out what's happening in the rest of the show and the rest of the team.
I know it doesn't feel like it, but spring is officially here. Happy 1st of September.
Sprung, man. It has sprung. Don't ever forget that spring is here, and we will drag the weather along with us. But Nature Boy this morning asked you a very important question, or made a request, in fact, to share with us some of your beautiful creations in your garden. I love getting green. I've got green fingers. I love being in the garden. It's therapeutic, so I can't wait to embrace the warm weather when it eventually does come and get in the garden. But let's see what you have been... Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Nancy Governor saying, beauty in my garden.
That is stunning. That is stunning.
I feel like I should know the name of that flower because it's like, that's like a Durban flower.
Noapelo also has a beautiful one. What's the name of this flower? I don't know any flowers, so you're going to be teaching me.
That's a gorgeous bouquet, hey? Really nice, man.
Stunning.
Oh, man, Nick Lombard has clearly been very busy, but he's highlighting something that is truly spectacular at the moment. Obviously, in the Northern Cape, Karoo, we've seen on the West Coast beautiful flowers blooming.
More pictures.
Oh, look at that. It's like a little, baobab type effort there. But it is spectacular, the flowers that we are being treated to in the Northern Cape. This hashtag Bosmanland at the moment really sets the tone. And I had the opportunity to drive out to Atlantis the other morning. It was misty, and every now and then the mist would clear and you just see the sea of like yellow and orange.
I'm probably the only Cape Townian that hasn't been on the West Coast to go take pictures with the flowers.
Gotta do it, y'all.
Gotta do it. Hopefully this weekend.
Haven't seen the snow, haven't seen the flowers. Where have you been we've got snow in spring, guys. Come on. What is going on? Well, we're going to inspire you with some beautiful, truly majestic garden creations in just a moment. Stick around.
Nourish your skin with Ingram's for Men, enriched with triple glycerine. For 48-hour moisture and no stickiness. Ingram's, your skin, your brave.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. It's spring, it has sprung, and in theme with everything that happens during this month, we thought we'd talk about something special, and this is something that's getting Nature Boy excited. Of course, with spring being around the corner and South Africa's favorite city of oaks, Stellenbosch, is pulling out the stops for gardeners and lovers of the great outdoors in a new week-long festival that will transform its streets into surrounding countryside from 30th of September to the 10th of October. Now, it's going to be the inaugural Stellenbosch Garden Week, and Almarie Rabe, the marketing manager of Visit South Africa, as well as Hanley Hill. She's a culture concierge and a representative for Stellenbosch's Outdoor Sculpture Trust. They're both here to tell us more about this incredible event. Ladies, how are we doing this morning?
We're fine. Good morning, good morning. It's spring, it's first of spring.
We're definitely a little bit earlier than the flowers would be blooming at this time of the day. They're all still sleeping, so thank you for joining us so bright and early. But I'm really excited about this. It sounds like something that I just want to get involved in. But where did the idea come about for this festival? What was the inspiration behind it?
It actually is quite a few things that came together.
I like that, by the way. That means we're going to hear something really.
So we started talking to Garden Day earlier this year about getting involved. So that was an organisation that started about, I think, 5 years ago to celebrate gardens and gardening and enjoy your garden. So not necessarily working on a garden, but just celebrating what it is. Tools down, tea, gin, whatever, just enjoy your garden. So that was the one part of it. Then somebody came and said, but the Girona Flower Festival, so that's a town in Spain, blooms like crazy and people flock there from all over the world. So then we started percolating a bit around that. And then we are obviously, the tourism industry was hit hard. So we thought, well, this could be a good idea to get the tourism industry sort of kick-started again. So it bloomed into this massive thing that is now Garden Week Stellenbosch.
I absolutely love that. Yes. Blooming into something exciting, of course. And the fact that, I mean, for a lot of people, working in the garden is a hobby and it's sometimes an isolated experience. You're doing it on your own. But this is tending to potentially bring people together, especially when it comes to the scene. I mean, how exactly would you imagine this to kind of bring the community and everybody else together in this event?
So we have a wonderful program that caters for a variety of activities for children, for nature lovers, for cyclists, hikers, food and wine lovers, of course, goes without saying, for Stellenbosch being such a wonderful culinary and wine destination. So we have a great selection on our program.
And speaking of that selection, I mean, you had me at the food and everything else already, but not just that, but I believe you have a Michelin star chef that's also joining the ranks, Jan Hendrik van der Westhuizen, who's going to be joining and being a part of the highlight for this week. What is his exact involvement? I'd imagine it's definitely food, but in what nature?
Yes, so we were very lucky. He's flying in for Garden Week, and he's got a little garden in France, and he also loves gardening. So he'll be talking about that a lot, and for us that was a really great anchor. We are doing a lot with food. So Jan Hendrik, to get back to the program, will be doing two things.
Oh, sorry about that. Speaking about getting early, my alarm just went off.
Oh my goodness.
Apologize. A little bit earlier than me.
I'm happy that you're awake already. So he's flying in, and he will be participating in a conversation about his love for gardening and what he does for gardening, and especially kitchen gardens, because everybody is now, or it's a big rage, it's a big trend now for restaurants to have their own kitchen garden, and to use local produce. So that is one of the highlights that he'll be bringing in. And then he's got a botanical banquet that will just celebrate all things flowers, beauty, botanical. It's very inspirational.
I'm trying to figure out what exactly is going to make this festival stand out, because there's so much that you've mentioned already. But I mean, in your opinion, what is really going to make this what I expect it to be an incredible event? I mean, you're mentioning the food, you mentioned the culture, the people. Is there anything else you could add to this?
Of course. There's always a rabbit that's being pulled out of the hat. So apart from the sculpture, the outdoor sculpture exhibition, which Hanley will talk about, we've got some of the exciting things that I really love and that is quite special is that we've got 15 private gardens that's now being open to the public for special viewing. That's never been open.
All right.
So this is a first for us. Another thing that I think will just absolutely bring the town and everybody alive is that we've got 5 or 6 of the historical points around Stellenbosch have been identified, and landscape artists and floral artists will be activating there. So even as you walk around the streets of Stellenbosch, you'll see there's a landscape activation on a pavement, or there's a beautiful floral and plant display. And these things are quite big in scale, in front of a church. Or we're building a labyrinth on the Brock. So, and that is quite interesting. We're using the labyrinth guru, well, I consider the labyrinth guru, Teddy de Vries, and she's doing packing out a labyrinth. And the magical thing about this is we put it on grass and we take it away after the 10 days. But those marks that people normally moan about, that's left on the grass, those white spots, it just means that labyrinth can actually live on until the grass has grown up
like
completely.
art at the same time.
Exactly.
Speaking of art, of course, we've got something to chat about after this. Ladies, it's been a pleasure. It feels like you need to book the entire week just to do all the activities that are on offer, but we will unpack a little bit more of it in just a bit, and don't go anywhere.
Spring is nature's fresh start. You can see it all around us at the moment. Even if it is still a little bit chilly, we are being treated to the most spectacular flower show on the grandest scale, certainly in the Northern Cape. So today we are springing up our morning coffee and showing you how to make something really cool. A spring berry fizz using the Expresso Tokyo Vivalto Lungo, which has some beautiful floral notes. Shekinah, are you up for the challenge? I've seen those nails, girl. The hand game is strong.
I don't cook,
okay.
I don't clean.
I'm going to teach you, okay? We're going to do the social distanced version of a collaboration here.
Awesome.
Okay, and we're going to create this berry fizz. It's fresh, it's beautiful, and it's packed with the most beautiful flavors, and it's perfect for spring day. Okay, so you up for it?
Definitely.
Okay, so I'm going to, first of all, start with a lungo. This Vivalto works well in a lungo format. It's slightly longer. It's, I think, a 110 ml coffee, so you can enjoy it, savor it.
Love it.
It's got a kind of a medium roast, 100% Arabica beans, beautifully balanced. Some light floral notes, not too high in the acidity. It's a beautiful coffee, and especially if you're not, like I like the flavor intensity, like on level 10. This one's kind of mid-range, so it's a nice, you know.
Love
but
it.
at this time of the day, I'm all about that.
You
like
want the
caffeine kick. Okay, so you're going to take us through the process. And this is quite exciting because you get to use all the tools and tricks.
This looks cool.
I know.
Yeah.
Take out your frustrations, okay? So we're going to start with some ginger. We've got some quite large chunks of ginger there, so because we want the juices, we want to capture the essence. So crush that with your little mortar pestle. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Think of that person and just take it out.
That's very easy.
Yeah, I know.
Joe.
I'd love to know who you're thinking about
I've got
right
no
now.
enemies.
I know you are quite honestly one of the sweetest people alive. So I would imagine that this is quite difficult to muster that aggression. But no, you've done a great job. I think that's perfect.
Okay.
That'll infuse. Then we're going to take our fresh seasonal berries.
Smells
we
good.
are using raspberries and a bit of strawberry, but you can use anything that you want. Some blueberries, blackberries, and crush them. Not too much, but just release the juices and things. That's looking pretty good, hey?
I think so.
And
Smells
visually,
great.
it's going to be beautiful. But yeah, the aromas, and obviously packed full of antioxidants, so it's pretty healthy as well. Okay, I think that's perfect. Now you are going to sprinkle our vanilla syrup. For this, you could use anything that tickles your fancy, even a little bit of honey if you wanted. But the vanilla is going to add a beautiful flavor note, I think, as well. Yummy.
Ooh.
So this is going to come out with layers. It's going to be beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Can eat it with a spoon. Lovely. Then you can give it a squeeze of lemon.
Okay.
And that you can just squeeze straight in, generous amounts. how you are doing any of this with your nails is miraculous to me. But the nail game is strong.
Nail game
it's
has
beautiful,
to stay strong,
man.
always.
And then the last thing we're going to add to our little mix there is our cranberry juice. And if you wanted to add a little extra fizz, you could use a carbonated, something with a bit of extra fizz. But look at that, it's looking beautiful. And then we're going to round it off. And this, I don't mind if it gets a little bit messy. I'm going to try and do this without... Dun, 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 dun. And look, that beautiful... And there we have it. And now, I'm going to take this out. And you're going to have the finishing touches being our beautiful little...
We got to finesse it a little bit.
Completely.
You know what I
it's
mean?
like you were born for this. You say you're not an aficionado in the kitchen.
I'm lying to you. I think I love to be in the
I'm seeing here. Were you one of those that raised your game during lockdown?
100%.
Really?
100%. I used to bake and everything during lockdown. It was problematic, but fun.
No, completely. Now, that became like mine and my boys' therapy, and we would just both be covered in flour constantly and... Oh, that looks beautiful.
Happy spring, happy spring.
Happy spring day. You can go on to expressoshow.com. You've got to give it a little taste and tell me, because my mind is reaching, and describe it to me.
It's very intense.
It's intense.
It's very intense.
Oh, don't fixate, eh? Don't fixate.
I'm fixating on the taste. It's very intense, but it's lovely. I love ginger and I love Nespresso. I'm obsessed with Nespresso, so this is a really interesting combo. I will try it at home.
And post pictures along with you. It's a great way to post an Instagram of your nails, actually.
Yes,
it's
thank
perfect.
you.
It's the perfect sounding board. You're a superstar. People are falling over all over the studio because you're just so amazing at what you do. We've got more music coming from Shekinah in just a moment. Stick around, but you can find this recipe on expressoshow.com.
Thanks for staying with your Feel Good Breakfast show. Some feel-good inspiration. Open up to a world of transforming your home. Yes, because when it comes to refreshing your home, sometimes applying a fresh lick of paint is all you need to give your home that makeover that you've always wanted. Now we chat this morning to interior designer Nicola Orpen on what the color trends are this spring and how we can use them to transform our homes. Nicola, good morning.
Hi, morning.
So good to see you.
What's with the black? Come on.
I know.
Yeah, to inspire people with colour, says the guy in an all-white
I'm
t-shirt.
pregnant. I'm trying to be slimming on camera.
You look amazing. You're glowing, and we certainly wish you well on that journey. But of course, this is a really big conversation. It's one of those, from a design perspective, one of the most important conversations we're going to have all year. Colour can transform a space. Even just a little bit of an injection of colour can make all of the difference. How do you utilise colour to change a room? How do you employ its power?
So I think obviously colour is the most important backdrop for any setting or conceptual design you're trying to create. So it's fundamental that you get your base colour right, and then you build on that with further colour and texture and materials to kind of create a very sensory experience for the viewer. It's important to also understand the psychology behind colour. So for example, tone-on-tone environments create a sense of calm. So when you walk into a space, your eyes sort of glaze over the details or even conflicting colours, building upon that to create a lot of focal points in the space. So it creates a visual sense for the eyes.
I love that, and it's such an interesting thing that it's so much consideration when it comes to colour. So much consideration, so much so that there have been some trending colours in the year 2021, and now as we embark onto a new season, we're stepping into spring. Are there any sort of like spring-type colours that we need to be looking out for?
So I think amidst the pandemic, there's been more of a yearning for calm amongst the chaos. There is colour, but it is more of the warmer, softer nature. So more earth-inspired, the ochres, the mustards, healing greens, sages, mints. There's also more of a trend towards tonal colours and gradients. So for example, where you have a muted green wall, then you would have a hunter's green occasional chair and a grass green lamp. So there is layering of colour still in the spring trends, but it's more gentle and more calming, you know, as a visual.
I suppose it stands to reason. I mean, Sandparks are saying more people have wanted to get outdoors than ever before. We want to bring some of that outdoors into our space. Does it become room specific? Are we seeing specific colour trends per room for like a bathroom, a living room, a bedroom, living space like that?
We are. Well, for bedrooms, there are more so, even, you know, more so now, sanctuaries, spaces of sanctuaries. So those are also very calming, a little bit more feminine. So your blush pinks are coming into your bedrooms, a bit of the sage green tones, you know, and accents on cushions and things. But in general, also again, very calm. Your bathrooms, we're seeing a lot of texture coming in, natural textures like sandstones and wooden white marbles. So again, just very kind of Swedish spa-like. Whereas in your living rooms, there's a migration away from the grey tones, more into the warmer, taupey, caramel, cappuccino type tones.
We're earthing ourselves. We're earthing ourselves.
We really
we need to. We have had to. I imagine that exteriors are less susceptible to colour changes than the interior, for example. Are there very specific types of colours to look at when applying the exterior?
Start a trend right now. Let's say, you know, luminous green houses are the new
or red
Come
houses.
on.
No, actually,
I'm yet to see one.
There's always obviously been the classic whites and off-whites and creams, all those safe colours. And strangely, as our interiors are becoming more calm and more sanctuary like the exteriors, people are becoming more bold with that. So we're actually looking at blacks, matte black paints, dark charcoals with a bit of a navy hue. Our sort of go-to is Plascon Sushi Wrap, which is not quite a green, it's not quite a blue. It plays tricks with your eyes a bit. But it's important also for people to know, especially in exterior environments, the landscaping, dark colours are actually such a complement to your foliage, so it really makes it pop.
Of course.
And then it also creates that sense of depth.
Nicola, thank you so much. Always such a pleasure being able to plug into your amazing mind in this space. Really inspiring. Thanks.
Thanks so much for having me.
It truly is so inspiring. We want to refresh our homes. And now for all of you, the lucky viewers watching at home, you stand the chance to win a 4,000 Rand Plascon voucher sponsored by Plascon. All you have to do is reply to the competition post. It's on our Facebook and Twitter. Tell us why your home needs a spring color refresh. And what color you would use if you want that 4,000 Rand Plascon voucher? It's simple. Don't forget to include the hashtag, though. It's hashtag the Plascon Lifestyle. And this competition closes tonight at midnight. And the T's and C's, you can find them on expressoshow.com. Good luck.
Thank you, gents. Now, what better way to celebrate the start of spring than through the one-of-a-kind festival that is Garden Week Stellenbosch. Now, joining us is back once again in the studio. If you missed the first session, then shame on you, but don't worry, we're plugging you with more of this info because Almiri Rabe is here, the marketing manager of Visit Stellenbosch, as well as Hanli Hill, which is our cultural concierge and a representative for Stellenbosch Outdoor Sculpture Trust. Ladies, we were chatting about everything involving the festival. I was getting really, really excited, but there's more to add to this. And on top of it, there's also the, well, what you would call it is the art exhibition, which is happening. Something really exciting, but something unique at the same time. Can you explain to me what's actually going on there?
Yes. So what coincides with Visit Stellenbosch Garden Week from 1 to 10 October is the Stellenbosch Outdoor Sculpture Trust is hosting a land art exhibition. So we have invited 8 land artists from across South Africa who will be doing artworks in and around town on different sites.
Okay, so you could just walk around and visit a few gardens or a site. It's like a multi-site sort of exhibition, right?
Correct.
Okay, well, that sounds exciting. And would everybody that's doing these gardens have different sort of elements that they bring through? Because, I mean, for me as someone that's inspired by, let's say, fynbos, seeing it in the mountain, is that something I could learn about at the same time through these exhibitions as well?
Yes, so there are indigenous gardens. There's a whole variety of gardens to see, traditional gardens, indigenous gardens, public gardens, private gardens. And then the land art installations, the artist has come forth with land art is working in natural materials, sculpting the earth, working with materials from the site itself. So there will be works in stone, there will be installations in metal, all kinds of natural materials.
Oh, wow. So I mean, imagine someone that's inspired with the creativity that we have as individuals, as well as all the material that we have in South Africa when it comes to the options of what garden you'd like to grow. I mean, we were just chatting offline about the options we have when it comes to a garden. I'd like a French garden, indigenous, water-wise. Is it something that I could just rock up in Stellenbosch and just get educated, or would you maybe suggest me making some sort of planning? Because it sounds like there is so much happening within the town in itself.
I would definitely suggest looking at the extensive program. There's something for everyone. There's some interesting talks on medicinal plants in the botanical garden. The Dylan Lewis Sculpture Garden is a great example of indigenous planting. And then, of course, the land art, learning about the medium of land art by enjoying the exhibition. So definitely book some talks and workshops as well on the visitstellenbosch.org website. Yeah.
All right. Well, Andy, look, where can people get more information from? Because I think everybody by now is hyped and they're excited and they want to get involved. What do you suggest they do?
So definitely, as Handy had just said, go to the visitstellenbosch.org website. There's a section on Garden Week. And I had a quick look at it last night. There's over 50 venues and more than 200 things that you can actually book.
Oh, wow.
Whether that's a visit to a garden, whether it's a talk, a hike, a cycle, a ride. There's flower crown workshops. There's beehive workshops.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's incredible how everybody just came together and inspired by nature. And I think this is something that we really need in our current times. I mean, everybody's come through COVID. We're still obviously
dealing with it.
Dealing with it, absolutely. And everybody's looking for something positive and beautiful and inspirational. And this is what we're trying to bring with Garden Week Stellenbosch.
Oh, you're definitely on. You're playing on such a powerful force, nature and the beauty within it. Ladies, I can't thank you enough for joining us this morning. I will definitely see you there. I'm so excited for this. And you need to do the same thing too. An amazing springtime experience awaits at the exciting new Festival of Gardens in Stellenbosch Garden, now happening soon. Don't forget it, and lots of wonderful memories to be made for sure. So showcasing the best of South Africa's nature, wine and food. Go get your tickets. Make sure you get there soon.
Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. You're still live here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show on S3. She's still back with us. She's still here. She's hanging out on the couch with the phenomenal Shekinah, who just continues to cement her place in the hearts of so many fans with her signature smooth vocals and a fearless sense of expression. Now, we last connected with her on video call last year, so we are super thrilled to have her in studio this morning. Mama, thank you so much. How was G's coffee?
Amazing.
Blink twice. Okay, it's okay.
You're a trooper. We are putting you through your paces this morning. Emoji games, making out of this world coffees. But it's an opportunity to check in. And I think that we've all been feeling the need to check in with each other because it's been a crazy year and a half, undoubtedly. But there does seem to be a kind of a wave of possibility, to use the word wave, with the vaccination rollout. And I think people are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But it's been a crazy time. It's kind of been highlighted in your music, but how was your lockdown experience? How did you survive the crazy months?
Gosh, lots of cool WhatsApp groups, lots of baking, and cool neighbors that, you know, we threw stuff over the balcony. We played a lot of games door to door. It was really fun at the beginning, I think, but then I got to a space where it was like, this is a real thing. This is a pandemic.
Reality check, yeah.
Yeah, people started going through some crazy, sad things. But I think other than that, it was just nice to be online. Somehow everyone came together by being online in a way, yeah.
Where are you in terms of performing again? Like, I know it becomes a personal choice to know where you're going to exist in the digital space and how you're going to put out yourself in that space. What's safe? How are you feeling about that?
I think what's really cool is, so what we've done is we're now going to be performing again. We're going to leave SA soon, I think in 2 weeks, and then carry on going back. But the whole team's vaccinated now, so I think we feel a little bit more confident and comfortable to travel. But it's really been like weird, not coming to Cape Town all the time, not engaging with your fans face to face. I haven't enjoyed it, yeah.
How do you find a balance between that? Because, I mean, obviously that has been such a difficult part of COVID, is not being able to connect with the fans. And you are someone that always wants to connect and reach out and just be present and be with them.
Geez, at first it was going live a lot on Instagram, and then I realized I can't keep going live. I need to be face to face. So I try just post a lot and engage a lot with my audience. Sometimes it seems like overkill, like this is a sick selfie that I'm posting today. But I want you to know that I'm still,
oh, but they need it. Yeah.
I know. I reply to DMs, I reply to comments. So I try and be more active where I can online.
You've also poured your efforts, and you've always been collaborative. I think that's been a cornerstone of how you've created your brand and certainly been a part of your success. But you've turned that into a kind of a far more extroverted path with Rosefest in support of female artists. What was the motivation there, and what has that experience been like?
That's my baby. Rosefest is my baby. I think I was performing in the industry for a while, and I started to realize that 80% of the lineups were men, the promoters were all men, the stage techs, everyone involved. And I think I just wanted to give my audience the opportunity to support something that was for female by female.
Truly represented.
We weren't recreating the wheel. We were just adding a spoke to it and allowing people to say, today we're gonna do something for the girls. So it's a super girly festival. Super pink. We have a Ferris wheel. We have crazy cool things, but it's necessary. Yeah.
Is there candy floss? Is there pink
There's candy floss. There's beautiful champagne tents. Like, it's beautiful. It was really like beautiful. Yeah.
Love that. You spoke about 2 weeks' time. You leaving South Africa.
Yes.
What's next for Shekinah, for the brand? Is there going to be more Rosefest?
I hope so. I hope Rosefest. That's my baby. Say that already, but that's my girl. But I'm hoping that we can tour the album. I haven't sung the songs, and that's just very weird for me. So I want to connect more with my own music live with my audience. So I'm hoping.
You can sing all the songs today. We still have
I mean, we're loving seeing
platform.
No, we're loving seeing the visual representation. But as an artist, how important is that sine wave of going introspective, creating music, but then being outward in that representation and performing it in front of a crowd, putting it to the test ultimately? How important is that for you as an artist?
I think that's what fills your cup after you've like poured it all out.
Yeah.
After you've written everything, after you've expressed yourself, shared. I think you kind of find yourself a bit empty, but then, you know, being out there, singing the song, engaging with people, resonating with people, it kind of fills that cup again and it inspires you to write more. So I feel like it's very necessary to just keep the creative flow happening, yeah.
I have questions. I have questions about your song Questions.
Oh,
on your
I love
album.
that. I was like,
Paradise.
she sounds like she's singing the song.
We're going to come back to that. You speak about falling in love with a best friend and then you know,
Yes.
how to pursue that.
Messy.
Is that a personal
I'm a messy girl.
Spill the tea on that one, because we have questions, girl.
Oh, no. No, I think how I like to explain that song without being too personal is just saying that when you become an adult, you kind of have to ask yourself questions before you do things. I think when you're younger, you make these mistakes or you kiss your best friend and it's like, oh, this is hilarious. But when you're like 26, you get heartbroken. So you know, questions is really about me being like, I'm actually not going to do this because it's going to be problematic in 2 weeks. So that's what the song is about, like just asking myself the right questions before I do something.
What a great answer. That was
I know.
Do you like
that was quite a,
yeah, no, I had to make sure. I had to,
answer, yeah.
No, I know, that was HR.
Does it have a happy ending, though?
It didn't, guys. It didn't. But that's why you don't rush into things you question.
Question it.
And yeah.
She's all grown
Then you
up
fixate
now.
I know,
She's
you
all
fixate
grown
on it and then you go for it.
People are asking questions right now. We're going to get a couple more beautiful visual representations of this beautiful person in just a moment. So if you're longing for more music, stick around.
Oh, that woman is just absolutely refreshing. And cheers to spring with a refreshing floral drink. Now, our Manhattan green tea and elderberry iced tea is the perfect drink to incorporate some floral notes with bursts of flavor. It's just what you need to taste some time out. And I thought, I'm going to have to get some help here. There's a lot going on. So maybe I can invite Jamie Lee Donberg into the kitchen. Wait, I don't need Shekinah here. I need...
Sorry
it's
about
you.
that, you know. Actually, my name is Shaniqua for the day, guys, so it is what it is. What are we making?
Shaniqua, we're making something special. It's beautiful tea. We're infusing some good, obviously being spring, floral colors, floral accents as well. So we've got some edible flowers there. So maybe you can start us off. I'll take it from here. We're going to just grab an ice tray to start it off with. We're making some delicious, beautifully looking ice cubes.
This is
all these flowers are
stunning.
edible. I don't know so much if you can just grab a random flower from your garden.
No,
that
you
might not be
can't.
advised. So
I at least know that one.
make sure they are edible flowers, and these kind are just beautiful to look at. Never mind just eating. How are those colors on that, Jamie?
Yeah, this is absolutely stunning. I know
Stunning as
usually when I
yeah.
have like a nice mojito or anything, because this is basically a mojito. This is a mocktail. It has
You
that
just
nice...
always want to turn it up, eh?
It's spring, okay? Like, let's welcome spring right now with this beautiful, refreshing drink. So obviously, we're going to put our beautiful tonic
Yes.
in there, and this is going to be the ashes. I'm messing.
And I noticed that some of the flowers actually like float to the top. So what you can maybe do is just get them semi-submerged in there if you want before you put it in the freezer. Not a bad idea.
I mean,
But
are you going to
once-
judge my ice blocks? Are you going to be like, your edible flowers is not in the center, it's not dropped? You are
But
that
Jamie,
person.
look, some of us do have standards, so I mean, it's expected, right?
So tonic water going into the tray, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by Mr. Nature Boy. And then you're just going to pop this into the freezer.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have the end result over there.
Voila. So the end result looks like this. Let me just grab one here. My hands have been washed, but how beautiful does that look? It's like a little ice piece of art. I don't know, you probably can't see it in the camera.
So Instagram worthy.
Yeah. But what are you doing now is obviously making the ice blocks beforehand so that you don't have like half melted ice can be put into your mix. And then we're going to get this little concoction going over here. So I've got my hero ingredients, the Manhattan iced tea, green tea. I've got the ruby, grapefruit and strawberry flavor as well to this. So we've got a lot of flavor mixture going in here. So I'm going to put about roughly 250 mils into this. Oh, it's cold. It smells so good as well. I mean, just on its own, this is a good summer drink.
This is Nature Boy certified, right?
It actually is, Jamie. It definitely is. And on top of that, Clover Manhattan iced tea is made with natural tea extracts too. So it is the best way to experience ultimate refreshment and relaxation. Now, Manhattan green iced tea is also formulated with green tea. It's caffeine-free and comes in various flavors too. So you can try this in your recipe. And of course, also freezing edible flowers into cubes is a trendy way of making your drink look stunning, and you can use it as decor too. And elderberry is what I'm going to be using in this recipe right now. It's elderberry cordial, which is floral notes. Now, this is a perfect match to our Manhattan green tea, and it's the perfect way to celebrate spring. And here it is over here. I want you to smell this.
Am I smelling this?
Yeah, smell that. Elderflower. Elderflower is the name, not elderberry.
It smells like spring. It smells like if I had to
crazy,
put
eh?
today in a scent, it would be this right here.
Pass some of that spring here. Let me put it into the mix. So elderberry flower. Oh, it smells so good. We're going to pop that into that as well. And then again, some tonic water, just to spruce things up and bring it to life.
This is a mocktail, 100%. I would have this every single Saturday. This is what I'm expecting. So the next time I'm coming to our house, this is what I'm expecting on arrival, okay? So I want this and be like, Jamie, you roll out the red carpet, the pink carpet.
I'll make sure I keep
Shaniqua,
Shaniqua's here.
I'm
Get
like,
the fancy ice blocks out. Get the silver spoons.
And then I'm going to judge you. I'm going to be like, actually, the elderberry flower is not at the bottom rail. It is in the middle, so I don't want this. Okay, then what's next?
Then I've got some again and time and again. We're going to add that into that mixture as well.
See what you think.
Then just slice up some strawberries. I've never known really how to slice a strawberry up, but that'll do, I guess, just to add some extra flavor and sensations inspired by spring. And Jamie Lee Domberg, that's pretty much it to the recipe.
Get it right? What's my name?
Shaniqua.
Shaniqua, thank you. Thanks for my name. And
And then the rest is as easy as serving it up. Get a nice garnish in there too. Let me show you how it's done. Get those icebox dropping in there, the sound of spring. Oh, yes.
Okay, now it's time for the taster.
The taste test. Wait, before you do, add some garnish to that and add a little strawberry to it as well, just to top things off. And
there we go.
Go for a taste and a cheers. Cheers to spring.
Wait. Cheers.
Cheers to spring, cheers to Shaniqua, and cheers to all the floral notes coming from this beautiful iced tea. You can get the recipe on expressoshow.com. What's more to say, Jamie?
She's perfect. It's taking me back to the beach for this one.
Cheers.
So, we've had classic fashion from Timby, classic cars, thanks Chad, and we've seen classic hairstyles. And you, Michael? Classic.
A classic range from Clover. Timeless taste.
Made with love by Clover. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Thanks for staying with your Feel Good Breakfast show. Expresso, open up to some inspiring young people doing amazing things. Because for the third year running, international advocacy organization Global Citizen is running its Global Citizen Fellowship Program powered by Be Good, which is an invaluable paid year-long fellowship designed to inspire, empower, and elevate each young person that takes part. Now, this year, the program has taken on 5 South African fellows and enrolled 10 Nigerian fellows for the very first time. Joining us via video call to share all about this program is the program's manager, Didi Morake, along with graduate fellow Sengi Shabalala and new fellow Gideon Ola Wumbi Fakumogbon. Good morning, guys.
Hello. Hi. So good to see you too.
Change makers, global citizens, the inspiration we need on this beautiful morning. Didi, let's start with you. Tell us more about this exciting enrollment of Nigerian fellows in the program and how this is all taking place with fellows in Johannesburg and Lagos in Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Thabiso, and thank you to all the viewers online this morning. So we're really excited about the fact that we're in our 3rd year of the fellowship program, and essentially how it began was that a commitment was made on stage at Mandela 100 in 2018, and it was a collaboration that was formed by Global Citizen together with Be Good, Beyonce's philanthropic initiative. The commitment that was decided was that we would enroll 50 young Africans in a fully fledged paid-for fellowship program that would run over the course of the 4 years. When we're currently in our 3rd year now with an expansion of not just enrolling South African fellows, but also the inclusion of Nigeria as well.
I love that you've been able to expand this across the continent, and being able to reach Nigeria in this way is the most beautiful thing to see it unfold. And we know that Global Citizen's 4 pillars of activity, they focus on the creative, campaigns, rewards, and marketing. What kinds of learner-based experiences are fellows offered so that they can maximize their own skills in each one of those areas?
So the great thing about this fellowship program is the fact that our fellows are immersed into the various departments within Global Citizen, and they learn through doing. So they excel in understanding the various components that make up our model. And so they are practically involved in the building of our social impact projects, right through from start to the end. And in addition to that, they're also provided with masterclass opportunities with key stakeholders within the organization to learn further in terms of like how they can thrive in the professional working environment.
Okay, this sounds exciting. I wish I was part of this fellowship. Sengi, you're a part of it. A graduate. You've taken part in it from the class of 2021. What was the highlight of your fellowship experience, and how do you plan to, take all of that forward as you advance professionally and I suppose personally as well?
I think what I really enjoyed about the program is that they weren't making you fit like a robot, fit into a working environment. They were like encouraging you and harnessing what you have and what you can do, and then you just bring it out the best way that you can in any environment that you go into. So professionally, I really found a new interest in branding and marketing and understanding how it resonates to people. And personally, I just always give the best of myself, always.
You look like you are so excited to have been a part of this, and I can't wait to see you just, I suppose, spread all of this passion and excitement across the different areas that you'll be working. Gideon, as a current fellow who will graduate in 2022, and I'm sure you're looking forward to that, where would you like to focus your area of learning, and what are you hoping to get out of this fellowship?
Well, like Didi mentioned also, one of the privileges of being on this fellowship is you get to have a taste of different departments, campaigns, reward, marketing. But specifically, after discussing my desire for storytelling and the likes, I was placed in the editorial and content team. And the reason why I really love this department is because I want to improve my creative writing. I want to also improve my storytelling tactics so that whatever I put out can impact that next person, that next community to make needed change. And one of the previous fellows mentioned something that I head on to. That is, do not fixate your mind on what will happen next year, August, the month after the fellowship. Just enjoy the process. So that's what I'm trying to do. I want to enjoy the process, get as much information as possible, as much training, network with people, mentors, and those that will help me in my future career.
Well, you're enjoying the process and you're connecting the dots along the way as you go as well. Didi, how does this program work towards achieving Global Citizens' overall recovery plan for the world? Because I know you've got very big ambitions there.
So we're providing young people with the opportunities to, immerse themselves in social impact projects. And what we're currently advocating for right now is around resuming learning everywhere. And in relation to that, we've been hit by COVID-19, and before COVID, the education system was already it was in a dire state. And with COVID happening and affecting, a number of young people, we know that through these initiatives where we are trying to mobilize young people to really just thrive in the space of education and learning, how Global Citizen operates, it's an opportunity there. It's a step that we're taking already, to drive that increase of quality of education. And we seek to do that by helping students bridge that digital divide through the tech resources that we provide as well as we go along in implementing the program.
Didi, I love your work, and to Sengi and Gideon, guys, I wish you all of the best as you continue to impact the world in a positive way. And I know Gideon and Sengi, I know that right now you are chatting to Beyonce directly on WhatsApp. Tell her we send our love and we say, what's up?
Definitely, I'll send that message.
Thank you.
We love it. We love to highlight the work being done by Global Citizen to help engaged young citizens realize their own role and their full potential in Global Citizen's overarching mission to mobilize communities towards the eradication of extreme poverty by 2030, because it's possible.
Oh, thank you so much, Uncle Tabsy, for that conversation. Well, it is 2 minutes before 8 o'clock. Time to have a final look at those news headlines. Starting with your national news, truck drivers will soon be able to be vaccinated while on the road. And this is thanks to the pop-up vaccination sites at engine filling stations along the N3 route. The Road Freight Association said the 5-day pilot project was to see whether drivers were interested in being vaccinated. Sipho Zungu, founder of All Truck Drivers Forum, and Alid Ese said they welcomed the initiative but wished it had come sooner. He also added that ever since the first extreme lockdown, truck drivers and the industry did not stop because drivers are the backbone of the economy. And then the Republic of Ireland is the latest country to ease travel restrictions for South African visitors. Under the new regulations, fully vaccinated travellers or those with official proof of recovery from COVID-19 are not required to quarantine. But its neighbour, the United Kingdom, is unrelenting in its ban on South African travellers despite fierce lobbying. Ireland recognises travellers as being fully vaccinated 7 days after the second dose of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine and 14 days after the single dose of the Johnson & Johnson jab. On the international front, Kenya's ambassador to Namibia is under fire after a picture of him posing next to a dead antelope with a rifle in his hand was shared widely on social media. Benjamin Langat has been accused of violating Kenya's commitment to wildlife conservation despite acquiring permission to hunt in Namibia. Kenya banned game hunting in 1977 to conserve its wildlife, and Namibia, however, allows trophy hunting and uses funds raised from licensing to conserve endangered species. And then tens of thousands of people have been evacuated from the shores of Lake Tahoe in Northern California in the U.S. as a major wildfire continues to spread. The Caldor fire has already destroyed some 191,000 acres. More than 3,500 firefighters have been deployed to combat the blaze. The Caldor fire is one of 7 blazes currently active in California. The Dixie fire, raging since mid-July, is the second largest in California's history. Climate change increases the risk of the hot, dry weather that is likely to fuel wildfires as well. And then finally, some major advancement for women empowerment in Kenya. A community in Kenya has found a sustainable way to feed orphan baby elephants using goat's milk. It's less costly and appears to be more nutritious. As a result, the Samburu women selling the goat's milk are financially less dependent on their husbands. Established in 2016, the Riteti Sanctuary rescues and also rehabilitates young elephants. It's run by the women of the Samburu community who built it in the mountains of northern Kenya. Roteti is the first indigenously owned sanctuary which rescues and also raises orphaned elephants with the ultimate goal of reintroducing them to the wild. The sanctuary is also about breaking down stereotypes and redefining wildlife management. It's the beginning of a transformation in the way the Samburu people relate to wild animals, and it's empowering Samburu women to be the first female elephant keepers in Africa. Indeed, a win-win situation. On that note, that is where I wrap up your news headlines. Here is G with a final look at the sports headlines.
Well, let's start on a celebratory note at the Paralympics. Peter Dupreer has won gold in the men's H1 cycling time trial at the 2020 Tokyo Paralympics. The 41-year-old from Randburg won Team South Africa's overall 4th medal of the Games and 3rd gold. Then Cheryl James, she followed on, taking South Africa's medal haul to 5 after securing the bronze medal in the women's T37 400-meter event. Compatriot Liesel Goos, she finished in 6th. They're not the best news coming out of the Springbok camp. Springbok head coach Jacques Nienaber yesterday confirmed that prop Thomas du Toit and lock R.G. Snyman will not be available for selection for the remainder of the Rugby Championship playing out in Australia. Du Toit returned to South Africa due to family bereavement, and then Snyman was unable to make the trip due to personal reasons. The Boks will line up against Australia on the Gold Coast on the 12th of this month. Then heartbreaking news in the world of cricket. South African pace legend Dale Steyn has announced his official retirement from all forms of the game. The 38-year-old, who has had constant run-ins with injuries over the last few years, played 93 tests, 125 ODIs and 47 T20 internationals for South Africa since his debut back in 2004, and widely considered to be one of the best pace bowlers of his generation. Steyn was also a key part of the Proteas side that rose to #1 in the test rankings in 2012. He has certainly been a servant of the game and the South African flag, so we salute him and wish him well on the next phase of his journey. Well, that's where we leave our sporting headlines on this spring day. Let's see what the weather has in store.
Thank you so much, Gina. We're starting our weather report this morning in the Free State, where the Fire Protection Association has issued a warning for a high fire danger until Friday. Now, the association says the higher temperatures, moderate winds, and lower humidity are conditions that can lead to wildfires. The greatest danger is in the Garib and northwestern parts of the Free State, and farmers are advised not to work in open areas with machines that generate high heat. Now, farmers were also requested to have firefighting equipment handy, and that would be all that is needed in order to help and prevent any of the dangers coming through there. But meanwhile, residents of South Hills, south of Johannesburg, have now been without water for 6 days. Water tankers have been dispatched to the affected areas and will remain there until water is restored. Now, of course, spring has sprung, which means our temperatures are slowly going to be rising. But before we wrap winter up entirely, we couldn't start spring without showing off some last snow images from our viewers this past weekend. I was starting off with Denise Frank, who shared this precious photo of her niece, Callan Peterson, who just had an absolute fabulous time on Sunday, despite ending up soaking wet. And now we usually see lush green fields in Tanteke, Mangoza, sunrise photos, but however, this time the view from her backyard shows off this white landscape covered in snow. And at 7 a.m. we shared some of the sunrise photos we received too. We started off with Michelle Hendricks, who took this shot from Easterplaat, Cape Town, and captured yet another beautiful shot as the sun is coming up. And then our local favorite in Tokozo, Theo Makatini from Joburg, shared this stunning shot of the sun breaking through the clouds in the distance, casting its rays across the sky. Thank you to everybody that sent in those beautiful pictures. We love seeing your part of the world and how you wake up and keep coming through with all those magic shots. Now to take a look at the rest of the temperatures in and around the country. Starting off with Polokwane, you're starting off on a low of 9 and a high of 24 degrees. Mbombela has a low of 14 and a high of 19 degrees for the day. Pretoria, your high will be 26 degrees, starting off at 9. Joburg, very similar with a high of 24 and a low of 8 degrees. Mahikeng, you're starting off at 12 degrees and then moving up to 29. Klerksdorp, very similar with a low of 11 and a high of 29 degrees. Kimberley, your low will be 12 with a high of 26. And Bloemfontein, slightly similar, a low of 7 and a high of 24 degrees. Now, Richards Bay, you can expect some rain with 71% chance coming through, a low of 14 and a high of 18 degrees. Pietermaritzburg, slightly similar, 58% chance with a high of 17 and a low of 8 degrees Celsius. Durban, also very rainy, 55% chance with 16 being your low and a high of 19 degrees to end the day. Mthatha, starting off with a chilly 5 degrees, moving up to 16 degrees Celsius and only 12% chance of rain coming through there. East London, a low of 12 and a high of 15 with 55% chance of rain expected. In Cradock, you're starting off with a chilly low of 2 degrees and a high of 20 degrees Celsius. And Gqeberha, you can expect 25% chance of rain with 12-degree lows and a high moving up only to 15 degrees for the day. George is slightly similar with a low of 7 and a high of 13 degrees Celsius. And Cape Town, no rain expected, a low of 7 and a high of 16 degrees. Worcester is slightly similar with a low of 4 and a high of 17 degrees Celsius. In Sutherland, a chilly 2 degrees to start your day, but you do move up to 15 degrees Celsius. No rain expected there. And much the same for Uppington with a low of 9 and moving up to a scorcher. Spring is here, 31 degrees can expected. That's a roundup of your weather this morning. We've got Shekinah still in the building, producing, releasing, and showing us all the magic. Yeah. Let's hope we can see some of it right now.
Oh, we are. We're just in time. We have another song for you coming away, musical, visual representation of a brand new song from her album called Trouble in Paradise, called Tide. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Expresso, I thought I'd treat you to a Reviving Origins capsule. And we're doing the Amaha Awe Uganda, which is the hope of Uganda, and the investment that they've made in the communities that were once known for creating amazing coffee, but for various socio-economic reasons haven't been able to do that. Now they've revived that coffee culture.
Yay.
So I'm going to create you one now. This is the hope of Uganda, just for you, because you are so amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here this morning.
Also, my machine is not this big.
You'll get there, girl. You'll get there.
Baby steps.
I thought you put this in your tech rider. I thought that was like,
the
okay,
Expresso machine,
this
the
is what I need. We are loving having you here. We are loving seeing you perform. There's a little espresso
Thank you very
to
much.
kickstart your day once again. Stick around. Shekinah is here just for you this morning. We've got another music video coming your way in just a moment.
Nourish your skin with Ingram's Tissue Oil and Rich Body Care range for 48-hour rich moisture. Ingram's, your skin, your brave.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Wow, that was the most, I'd say, calm intro you've ever gave to us, man. Just a little pop of the collar there, old Sebastian. I like that. How are you doing this morning, brother?
Sorry, the face of shock was that the camera was on me. I really didn't know.
I thought we definitely caught you in a moment, because you normally got something prepped, you've got a sign, you've got a look or anything else, but also, Sebastian, tell me what you got for us today when it comes to the movies, my man.
Pistol fingers. What the heck is the accent trial? What is happening?
It started off trying to be Western and then it went to like Ireland. I took a flight to Ireland straight afterwards. But what's happening? I was trying to talk about old Henry.
You slapped too much bass.
Yeah, man, look, you got some awesome trailers for us. What's first up? Old Henry, or the lack of a better accent. What's this one about? It's definitely not Irish. It's a Western, I believe, yes?
Ryle, the world is your oyster. I would love to hear any other accents you attempt. Magical. Old Henry. So if you've got a cowboy western and you've got a nickname that starts with old, probably you have some gunslinging skills, right? Because like the oldest you could get back then was like 30 years old.
Yeah.
Because you're done at the point of a nuke.
You had to do a standoff for your food and you just wouldn't make it.
Yeah, it's actually so shocking how ruthless that time was. So as someone who just finished Red Dead Redemption 2, woohoo, I'm so hyped to see. Man, how good is that game? I'm so hyped to see a cowboy movie. I'm so hyped to see a Western. Really, I love this kind of thing anyway. You know, all of us grew up on Clint Eastwood in some way, whether it was, you know, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, or you know, any of the 90s ones that even did. But anyway, this is Tim Blake Nelson at the front. That name most people won't know offhand necessarily, but the face is kind of familiar. The dude you're looking at there was last in The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. That was one movie that was on one of the famous streaming services, the name of which I cannot say on TV. And obviously got a lot of sort of hype with awards and whatever. So the dude knows what he's doing and clearly is now shoved in a corner of acting the cowboy guy, maybe for the rest of his career. Maybe that's a good thing. In this story, he plays a guy who is just trying to be a farmer. He's very bad at that job. Clearly trying to wash something off his hands other than dirt. Sorry for the gladiator quote there. But he has a past of his own. Finds a guy on his land who has this satchel that's just packed with greenbacks. So he also has been running away from something. Stephen Dorff there, who most people remember as the cheesy vampire from Blade, shame he did that role well, and then he later did True Detective Season 3, is faking possibly being the sheriff who's looking for this guy that Tim Blake Nelson found on his farm. So who to trust? The dude who he found wounded on his farm with all this money, who was the robber, and is this guy in fact with the law? Either way, both of these two forces of nature are going to find that Tim Blake Nelson is nothing to trifle with, and old Henry grew old for a reason because he has a past of his own that he was trying to hide and run away from. No date for this in SA just yet, but totally up my alley. I love the slow burn westerns, like when you're watching like a dynamite fuse go for 2 hours and then it's just when it's too late, close up, man, and hope.
Yeah, I think we all definitely grew up on something when it comes to the Wild Wild West, of course. And speaking of the wild, there's another track, or another title, sorry, named Wild Indian. Is this something similar to what we've just seen?
Yeah, you love to try and spot my themes and whatever. You sometimes I'm theming, sometimes I'm not. But if you like, absolutely, this is the kind of thing where you know, someone's trying to bury a past. Again, like the previous one, trying to forget a part of their history, and this is actually real, obviously American history that a lot of people are trying to bury these days. Hey, a Catholic preacher in an indigenous American church. Now, this has obviously been in the news a lot lately, since 7,000 bodies thus far, children have been found in something like 5% of these Catholic schools in Canada. So yes, we have to be topical, and this movie comes out at a time, any time in the past 500 years of North American history, that is totally relevant. Wild Indian is the story of what you're looking at here, two teenagers who something traumatic and something terrible happens for both of them, and they both try to cover it up, make as if it didn't happen. One kid is very troubled, his name is Tedo, and the other kid is Makwa, who is also a troubled teen, but one of them pulls the trigger on an event that will change their lives forever. They part ways. One becomes a sort of, as you're looking at there with J.C. Eisenberg, who's characteristically in the executive creep. He becomes a junior executive in his company. He's ambitious, he's cutthroat, and the other dude turns into a heroin dealer, and he's almost like this sort of, I suppose, Ed to the superego trying to escape this past. So obviously it's a thriller. It's trying to keep a lot of cards close to his chest. It's got its own twists and turns. The trailer seems like it gives away a lot. Apparently you learn a lot more than just what you saw there. Made its debut at Sundance Festival, where critics were going, the main guy, Makwa, such an unlikable character, but the actor carries him so well, and it looks as tense as the trailer makes out. No date in SA just yet, but we love thrillers. We love people who are trying to paper over their past as if it didn't happen. Very much similar to Old Henry in that fashion. So yeah, we'll keep you on the edge of your seat, no doubt.
Yeah,
we'll see when it comes.
JP, Sebastian, all we have for today, of course, talking about cowboys and Indians, and what a perfect option. I think everybody can relate to this. Everyone's going to be inspired
Do the
by
accent.
this. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming through with the good stuff, JP. And I think you've definitely worked up an appetite for something delicious. Let's find out for cooking in the kitchen.
Ryle, Mrs. the Emerald Isle. Do the Irish accent.
Nonsense. Such nonsense. How do you follow that up? How about some eggs Benny, baby, with a little bit of asparagus, some beautiful oak-smoked trout, and a Cheats hollandaise sauce. That's got my attention. And the cheetah is right here, man. You're the master of the kitchen hack, okay? You are there to help us break all the rules in the kitchen.
Just break them.
Just break it, man. Take that rule book and go...
You got to crack a few eggs to make an omelette. Just break it. Do it.
And to make it eggs Benedict, you have
and also, to make a hollandaise, you have to crack some eggs. I mean, it's like...
eggs.
Okay.
You crack me up, buddy. I like the sound of this because it's healthy, it's fresh, perfect for spring day. In fact, happy spring day, by the way.
Look, you are looking very spring.
Hey, floral.
Eh?
I'm feeling quite floral today.
Happy spring day.
Okay. This is one of my favorite flavor combos, but it's also incredibly healthy and delicious. That's a very satisfying breakfast.
It is.
And it's quite zhuzh. Hey?
It is.
It looks very impressive. So I noticed we've got the English muffins, which are a must.
A must.
A go-to.
Absolutely. So I'm kind of jumping ahead here, and I'm going to start on the
Is that vinegar?
It's more than vinegar. you don't just go to Woolworths to buy...
just vinegar?
So when you make a hollandaise, right, you have to infuse vinegar with, like, your peppercorns and your shallots. Woolies have done it already.
Oh, get out. So that's the cheat. You're a cheater.
Can I just say something? This, in a cocktail, you wouldn't imagine it.
And I've actually started to pickle. I've started to pickle.
I was going to say you started making cocktails. Okay.
I've actually started. That's my lockdown thing. No, I've started pickling a lot because I've realized that how much of a difference it makes, especially with rich, fatty foods, to have a pickle to cut through that.
Absolutely. A beautiful steak is like elevated to the next level when you add something pickled, like pickled cabbage, even pickled cucumber, pickled chilies. It just elevates a normal steak.
I'm going to pickle a chili tonight.
Pickle a chili. It just cuts through the fat and somehow just elevates the flavor of anything that you have with it. So I'm obsessed with vinegars. I've got like you know, people have that shelf with just sauces. I've got a shelf with just vinegar because vinegar is just it's like the magic ingredient in the kitchen. Chefs use it so much. That's the trickery of restaurants. It's the acid that they add to the food that just makes you taste more.
It's
of
another
it.
restaurant hack. I love that. Okay,
so
we're now using our magical juice.
This is going to go with our egg yolks, and they're free-range egg yolks. And the thing about eggs, right? If you're going to be making a hollandaise, it's predominantly egg-based. Make sure you get fresh eggs. Make sure they're free-range. Get the best quality eggs you can.
As a standard, yeah.
It's a standard. So I'm going to keep on whisking this, talking, and then using my left hand to do other stuff.
Okay, because
which is like pointing at you and asking you, can you please open the trout ribbons for me? I've got a scissors there for you.
I don't know if I can. I'll try.
So the thing about, we spoke about this earlier this week. Doesn't matter if you're having tin tuna, if you're having salmon, if you're having trout, if you're having hake, sustainability is everything.
Completely. Okay? I went and bought myself those white tuna fillets, dude. Oh my goodness.
The albacore.
I thought I could share them, but I didn't. I ate them all on my own, hiding in the corner of the house so no one could see me.
But then they get the whiff of the tuna and then they look at you and they're like,
Daddy, what is creamy? Oh, my
it's so
goodness,
good. Okay.
Man, I feel you. But this is great and it's really, really healthy. Okay?
I mean, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. But it's kind of like the essence of spring. It's new asparagus. It's eggs. Eggs are it's a symbol for new beginnings, right?
Completely.
It's baby spinach. Eggs Benny are the official spring dish. Putting it out there.
Officially it is spring and we're going to finish it off with beautiful flowers. So
and we're calling it eggs Benny.
Okay, so
right. Next thing, I'm going to need you to please open the English muffins for me.
Okay.
Because I remember last year this time I told people the correct way to halve your English muffins.
How?
Not with a knife.
Okay.
You take a fork and you go around the sides.
Let me try.
You're doing it. Okay, go all the way, clockwise, anti-clockwise, doesn't really matter. But you don't want to cut the knife. And the reason for that is when you actually toast it, you want those awkward ridges.
You want rough edges.
Rough edges. That's going to create texture. I'm doing so well. All this hand does is just point.
Yeah.
And I do it well.
It's quite a commanding hand.
Okay, so my hollandaise is looking good. So what happens is, after a few minutes of mixing, you can see it starts sticking up. That's when you start adding. Okay, can I just show? That's what I'm talking about. Those little jaggedy ridges creates texture. Okay, perfect. Well
Just
done.
imagining the yolk going into the... Come on, come on.
There we go. Okay, so yolks and the pickling condiment have started to thicken. I've started adding the cold butter.
And you've been adding cold butter very gradually there. Okay.
One at a time, and then until it dissolves or emulsifies into the mixture.
Okay.
Then you add the next one. So I'm going to have to stop now
Okay.
because I've got one that's made for me.
Okay.
Beautifully made. Kelly made this, and if you know who
Stunning.
Kelly is, she preps all the food before.
Yeah, she's our
segment.
kitchen fairy.
I do nothing.
She's lovely. And whenever I ask her things, it's become a standard on... She goes like this to me.
She doesn't speak a lot.
No, she just dismisses me with her hand. When I ask her silly questions in the kitchen, I'm like, how do I do this? Why do I do this? And she goes, silly man.
Kelly, are you okay?
Yeah. Get out.
Kelly having a bad day?
Is this hollandaise for me? Get out.
Okay, beautiful hollandaise. This is what it's going to look like at the end.
Oh,
and
it's beautiful,
it's
yeah.
thick.
It's
It coats the
glossy.
egg. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so English muffins toasted in a toaster. Don't put it in the oven. It's going to dry it out.
Okay.
So then, beautiful poached eggs. They're going to go. Let's go asparagus first.
Okay.
Don't overcook your asparagus. It's a crime.
Okay.
Don't do
Really?
it.
Okay, so it's that serious. Okay.
You could wilt your spinach,
Okay.
but a little bit of freshness is nice.
Crunch. I mean, that's my daily go-to in the mornings is a poached egg on fresh baby spinach. That's it.
Can't go
That's
wrong.
what I
You can't
do,
go
yeah.
wrong. Okay, there we go. 2 poached eggs.
It's kind of like a poor man's version of this, really.
Shame. If you'd like to donate to Graham Richards, please contact the number at the bottom of your screen,
Right now, right across the country, people are going to their TVs.
Okay. In we go. Okay. We should have had some music because this is a moment. And you got to do it from a height.
You
in
need
front
some
of
like
your guests.
Vivaldi music with this, actually, like some Four Seasons, because that is beautiful.
There we go. A few edible flowers because it's spring.
And little angels are singing.
Or as Kelly would say,
Just get out of it. If you want this recipe, you can find it along with a whole lot of other culinary inspiration for spring on woolworths.co.za. It's the place to go. Buddy, I've just got one thing to say to you. Just get out of here. Go.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, JP Sebastian and everybody else of Zanzi, welcome back. Of course, we're carrying on with the epic hype, the epic excitement that is movie trailers with JP Sebastian. JP, you still with us?
In body and soul, even though I might have just severed vertebrae in my neck doing that thing that I was doing.
Good form,
like
man. Good form. It's like your head is part of spring now, and it's officially sprung.
Yes, sprung. I get sprung. Wait, I'm not going to sing that song.
Spring me some more trailers, man, because the first batch that you gave were awesome. It was gunslinging. It was the Wild Wild West. What's the next 2 batches that you got for us?
Ryle, please do yourself a favor and look how beautiful this poster is. This is poster of the year, instantly.
Wow, is that a veil? Is that a dress?
It is a wedding gown of, obviously we know as Lady Diana. The movie is Spencer, which is obviously her maiden name, pre-Prince Charles kind of association. But look at this poster, guys, seriously, because this is going to be like probably the last time you get to see it. Because what makes me want to pull my hair out is that studios, they'll have these beautiful artistic posters, even for some of the dumbest movies, like really interesting, beautiful designs. And then as it gets closer to release date, they're like, no, we need to have a gigantic, famous face on the poster so that no one is in doubt about why they need to throw their money at this thing. But seriously, that is one of the most gorgeous posters I've ever seen in my life. Looks like Gustav Klimt. Looks like Lady in the Water, Ophelia, or whatever it's called, a painting. Anyway, now we're looking at the movie, the painting itself. And why you can call this movie a painting immediately is because the director, Pablo Larraín. And what he has done in the past is, I don't know if people remember that Natalie Portman played Jackie Onassis. She was Oscar nominated for that. The dude knows exactly what he's doing. And here you're seeing vampire girl Kristen Stewart playing Lady Diana. I think that's supposed to be Prince Charles. Well,
that's a big role for her.
All shots you can see it, turning her face away from the cameras, really trying to be out of the limelight a lot of the time, and in a family that I think a lot of people feel persecuted her. Such an interesting character for a lot of people because they, she was a nobody. She wasn't nobility or anything like that. And the entirety of this teaser trailer gives you the sense that this is a caged bird who cannot sing, that kind of trope, I suppose, if you want it that way. But man, it looks pretty, and Kristen Stewart, clearly, who has been on the up and up since vampire stuff. What a great actress. Clearly is going to knock it out. Oh, look at that poster. Yeah. Clearly going to knock it out.
It truly does look beautiful, JP. I'm going to agree with you there. That poster is something that almost reminds you of what this movie might be about, and especially when it comes to the questions involving her life and all the mystery that was around it. I think it's just something that we are dying to want to see and get a new, fresh perspective on. And another fresh perspective on is we're speaking about princesses, I believe. Now we're speaking about kings. I think I'm onto your theme here, royalty, yes?
Sure, if you like. No, there wasn't. You're just being too creative for your own good. Must be that luck of the Irish that you got going on for you, Rob. No, these are just the popular trailers that you have to speak about because everyone's speaking about them. Now, The King's Man is not up my alley, not my cup of tea, if you want to put it that way. But when the first trailer came out, because there have been 5 now for how many times this poor movie has been delayed and then delayed and delayed. The first one came out and I was like, wow, they're taking a lot more of a serious tone with this. But trailer number 5 that you're looking at here promises that it's still going to be goofy, stupid fun because it was meant to be a circus. It's like if you had Austin Powers on one end of the spectrum, James Bond in the middle, and then The King's Man at the other end of the spectrum was like, no, stuff's not stupid and bad enough to physics. Like, the movie needs to offend all sensibility of what is possible in real life. Ralph Fiennes, what a fantastic actor. What do people remember him as? Maybe Voldemort for you, Raul? Maybe Francis Hyde? Red Dragon, the dude is fantastic. Such a good actor. And it's sometimes nice to see like really class quality actors who are made for like Shakespearean stage kind of stuff let their hair down for a change. Speaking of hair, that is Mr. Rasputin, famous for obviously the stupid meme from the Boney M song. This is how long ago this movie was supposed to be released, November 2019, when they thought probably this is going to like be in line with that meme. But who cares about explaining The King's Man? This is December 24th in SA. It actually has a date this time. After all those delays, you're going to get to see the dumb fun prequel to the one with, you remember, it was Eggsy. In modern day, it was the Chav in the hoodie who had to turn from street dude to gentleman, and now it's Ralph Fiennes taking the reins during World War I. Why are all these movies set during World War I? It's interesting. That is another political discussion for another day. Was Wonder Woman, that was the first one to reintroduce World War I. But I'm just totally happy to see someone like Ralph Fiennes, Jimon Hansu, woohoo! All of them just, having it out, letting their hair down, having just stupid cinema fun. Big bag of popcorn is what you need. Bunch of brain cells out the window. King's Man, 24th of December. Spencer, 17th of December. Look at that poster, people. Oh man, it's beautiful.
Thank you so much, JP Sebastian, coming through once again with what, in my opinion, is a royalty-themed trailers. You're not going to want to miss this. There's so much excitement. I'm just picturing that man in Red Dragon, I believe it was, with that tattoo. Definitely nostalgic moments there, but of course some great actors, some great moments to look forward to, so make sure you book for that one. Let's catch up with the rest of the team and the rest of the show.
It's a brand new season, everybody. Happy Spring Day to all of you, which also means that it's time to give your home a Spring Summer 21 refresh. Now, that is exactly what Homeware's head of trend and design at Woolworths, Claire Robertson, did, and Tabiso was there for an exclusive. Take a look.
Let us be honest, it feels like we've had the longest winter just winding over and over, and all of us are pretty much ready at this point to invite the warmer days in the summertime. And this SS21 is all about finding joy in the small things, like being invited over for lunch at Woolworths' head of trend and design. Come with me, let's go meet Claire Robinson. Here's something I know about you is the fact that you are so well traveled. I mean, you've been all over the world and obviously collecting items and collectibles along the way. What are some of your favorites and why?
Some of my favorite items are from a market I've been to in Mumbai called Chor Bazaar, which is actually thieves market. Beautiful, authentic milk glass jars, carved items, mother of pearl inlay boxes. Oh, so many different things.
How did you come up with this theme of green and using these different shades of it across the house?
Green for me is a color of like newness and rebirth, and it's invigorating. It just brings across such a feeling of well-being. A great color to combine with green is yellow. You could also combine blue with green, which can work very, very well.
What should we avoid then if we're trying to use the color in our homes?
The biggest thing to avoid is to only choose one green, because then I think it can be very flat and very monotone. And I'm a great believer in tones of color being combined together. So it's much better to combine colors in the same tone, but just dark to light.
Okay, Claire, so as the head of trends and design at Woolworths, you must have lots of items catching your eye all the time, and you bring them into the stores for us. What are some of the standout ones for you this season?
The product that I'm most truly excited about at the moment are the small furniture items in the matte black metal, such as the coffee table, the small little side tables, and then the drinks trolley. I think is completely and utterly to die for. It is just so beautiful. We've got some beautiful sketch cushions with painted flowers, which are very on trend at the moment. Some geometrics, it's actually nice to mix them together. But I also really love the rugs that we have in stores at the moment.
Oh yes, Queen. Oh yes, rugs. You'll get nowhere without rugs.
And they really do finish off a room. Tabiso, I have one more thing.
What now, Claire?
We are going to go outside and have lunch in my garden.
Yes, thank you. Yes, say no more. Let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Oh. Just when I thought I have seen it all, did you set this entire table for me?
Absolutely.
Claire, this is an entertainer's heaven, really, to be honest. I mean, all of these items and pieces and colors, you really did bring the magic.
So I'm also a bit of a maximalist, so it's not like I put a minimal amount of stuff on the table. I love flowers and plants, mixtures of colors and print and pattern on the table, and textures, so grass mats, beautiful ceramics, wood. I love mixing all of that together.
Claire, you're right. The colors are popping and the greens are alive on this table. I mean, I didn't even notice that these were faux plants. This is beautiful. They come together so nicely.
I absolutely love this new green range of ceramic, just bought from Woolies, and we've just put it in. It's got a slight speckle to it. It's a matte glaze. It's just really beautiful, and I think it just looks so awesome on this table. When you're decorating your table for a lunch and you want to make it look really, really special, it's actually quite easy to add little bits and pieces just to enhance your table. Like these are picked from this tree that we're sitting under, and I love the yellow because it ties in with everything else that I've used on the table.
Before we're going, I see a whole refreshment station over there, and it looks so inviting.
It's also great to have carafes on your table full of water and ice and lemon and mint that people can just refresh their glasses as they go through the lunch.
Claire, you have laid a beautiful table, but also you've set my appetite on fire. Shall we eat?
Yes.
You can invite summer in with these soft, lived-in hues and natural textures that will honestly turn your home into a holiday vibe, right? And if you want your home to look like our home, and by our home, I mean Claire and me together, our home, this one, it's possible. You can shop all of these fantastic things you've seen here online, in-store, or on the Woolies app, or you can go into the Woolies shop. Okay, it's just Claire's home for now, so I'm gonna go shopping. Enjoy.
As always, on trend, but also, as always, Uncle Tabsy living his best life. But of course, for you at home, you can create your ideal space with Woolworths Spring-Summer 21 homeware collection. Plus, you'll also get 20% off selected homeware accessories and decor items if you shop between now and the 5th of September 2021. Now, remember, those T's and C's do apply, and you can shop this deal at Woolworths, which is available in-store, online, or on the Woolies app.
Join Expresso this spring to stand a chance of winning a 4,000 Rand Plascon voucher weekly as we ask how you colour your life. Is it the cherry red in your ride, maybe the burst of new blues from your garden, or the sunsets and seascapes of a favourite getaway? Well, answer our weekly social media question and find the terms and conditions on expressoshow.com. Then colour your life with 4,000 Rand paint vouchers to be won all spring on Expresso.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, you beautiful souls, welcome back. It's another installment of the Culinary Hotline Bling! Ting, ting, ting! Yes! I love this time in the morning. Now we are joined by our resident, our favorite, it's Clem Chef. And if you have any questions for Chef Clem on all things in the kitchen, then call us right now on 021 110 552. Chef Clem, lots of stuff happening this morning. Of course, I see a lot of ingredients out here in the kitchen. What are we doing?
We are first going to talk about more microwave stuff.
Okay, all
Because
right.
last week was pretty amazing. And have you noticed you've been in the kitchen a lot lately?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it, man. I'm getting educated.
Ryle Chef, just owning it. Okay, so let's talk about popcorn
Hey, let's not talk about popcorn. We got a caller on the line. Let's shake and bake. It's the spring dance. Culinary Hotline Bring, how may I help you? Hello, who may I ask you speaking? Hi.
Hi.
Who's speaking?
Beauty.
Good morning, Beauty. How are you doing?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm fantastic. What's your question today in the Culinary Hotline Bling?
I want to know how to do chicken mayo.
Chicken mayo. Oh, that is a good
Yay.
meal. I also want to know that, so thank you so much. Chef Clem, what do you got for Beauty?
I think Beauty's planning all the picnics, you know, it's springtime, so when you get outdoors, chicken mayo is an amazing picnic. Like, just make it and take it. I love that dish. So I've got an amazing hack for cooking chicken breast. Chicken breast notoriously will just go dry. You will look at it and it will go dry.
Yeah.
So here's a good one. What you're gonna do is pot of water, and we're gonna flavor the water. We're gonna season the water, make it super aromatic. Bay leaves. Bay leaves in everything. Just put bay leaves in everything. Everything. Just do it. Right. Bay leaves go in, garlic goes in. You can slice it up if you want to.
All right. And this is getting chucked into the water right now.
Right. It's gonna come to a boil, and then what's gonna happen is I normally do this from cold, so I'll put everything into the pot at cold, and then as it gradually increases in temperature, it extracts so much more flavor. But if you want to save time, just get the water, add it in.
Right.
Peppercorn's very important, and then salt.
Some salt.
Also very, very important. Without salt, this recipe does not work.
All right.
Not at all. Okay, cool. Salt goes in. What you're gonna do? Here's where you gotta have faith.
Beauty, are you still on the line? Are you still listening? Yeah.
Still there, Beauty?
Okay.
Okay.
She's there.
still
Okay,
there.
cool.
Yeah, she's
So
still
what
there.
you're gonna do? You're gonna bring this up to a boil. Okay.
Yeah.
Like a proper boil. It's gonna. You want to hear it going. Brrr.
Yeah.
You add the chicken breast to the water, and here's where you gotta have faith again. Okay. As soon as you add the chicken to the water, turn the heat off. Put the lid on. Forget about it for 15 minutes.
What?
Graham in the background. Graham's like,
everybody's, what the horror,
Right.
the shock. Okay, but you're saving electricity, so I'm liking this. Why?
Yeah, in that 15 minutes, there's enough heat in the water to cook the chicken all the way through. And because it's gradually cooking, it locks in so much moisture in the chicken breast. I'm telling you.
And it doesn't dry it out.
It does not dry out.
Wow.
It does not dry out. And then you want to know what do I do with the water afterwards? Because you poached the chicken in there, use the water to make like a soup or something.
Like a
It's got
broth or
flavor in there, yeah.
Okay,
So,
2 for 1.
That's how you make your chicken breast. So what I like about this recipe is you can multiply it as many times as you want. So if you're doing like big batch cooking for like a lot of people.
Or people like me, maybe?
For you, the protein. Just
Yeah.
bigger pot, more water, chicken breast, literally, chicken in, lid on, 15 minutes, forget about it. Then you take it out.
That's
That's
so
it.
cool. Okay.
So,
All
okay.
right. Still with you?
Chicken mayo. I've got mayonnaise, I've got chives, so a little bit of like a savory flavor, chives, mustard.
Okay.
It just cuts through things, it just makes things so much richer, you just taste more of it. So, pepper and salt. Can you make that for me?
I got you, all right. So we've got mayo and all the good stuff in here, and this is going to be like bougie mayo, essentially, right, for our chicken mayo.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All
So you
right.
can either shred the chicken, which is fine,
Okay.
but I like when I make a chicken mayo, I like to actually see the chicken
You
in
want
the
it
chicken
chunky,
mayo. Yeah. Keep it chunky.
Get a nice
So-
chunky bite in there as well.
So nice and just like chunky, like you said. And another thing is, if you do make, we spoke about this offline, if you make chicken breast, okay, and you're not gonna mix it into the sauce, but when you put it in the fridge, make sure it's properly covered with like plastic wrap.
Because I'm fine, like everything I put in the fridge, even if it was medium rare, the next day it's just dry as
The chicken is a dehydrator. And it just takes the moisture out of things. So if you're gonna keep this for the next day, make sure you really properly cover it.
Okay.
My tip is to actually just mix it into the sauce first, then pop it into the fridge.
I've got to say, Beauty, thank you so much for asking this question, because not only have I learned how to make chicken mayo, but I'm learning how to make mayo. I'm learning how a different way to make chicken as well, and get these new recipe inspirations. So thank you, and Beauty, thank you for this question. So many hacks coming through on a Culinary Hotline Bling this morning. I love this one.
Here's my thing, chicken mayo. It sounds like a simple thing, chicken mayo, you know.
Chicken and mayo.
Chicken and mayo. But you can make it so much fancier if you actually toast some brioche bread, put the chicken mayo in there. Then it becomes like proper, like, you know, we're doing something special here. So amazing. Mixing skills next level.
Yeah.
We got some brioche bread. Like I
Beauty,
said.
if you are still on the line, then what we also have for you is the opportunity to check all the ingredients, all this recipe inspiration on expressoshow.com. And of course, if anybody's just tuned in now, shame on you. But don't worry, we got you covered.
Wow.
We're busy making something spectacular. It's chicken mayo buns. Beauty has called in to ask us how to make the best, and we are out here to deliver with Chef Clem, of course. He's about to toast, is it called brioche bread?
Brioche bread. So we know brioche
yes.
buns, right?
Yes.
Woolies now sell the bread, which is just like next level.
Guys.
Spring is the season for brunches, and when it comes to brunch or breakfast, brioche bread is where you go. So this is an amazing one that you have to do. So, it doesn't take long to toast. You'll see.
And I've got to say,
look at the color already.
It's looking like restaurant quality. It's something that I'd order in a menu somewhere. Well done.
It's how we do. Honestly. Okay, Beauty, this one is dedicated to you. There we go. Chicken mayo sandwich. Done. I'm telling you, this chicken mayo is not like a normal chicken mayo that you taste because the chicken is so tender, so delicious, so juicy, and you can only get it by doing that poaching method. Don't try roasting it.
Beauty, you absolute beauty. Thank you so much for coming through with that question. I hope we answered it all, and I hope the rest of Mzansi was listening too, because that was quite informative. There was like 3 hacks in one at the same time, yeah.
I try.
You do try. But we were
the popcorn.
About the popcorn.
Okay, so back to last week on the microwave. So one of my biggest hacks when it comes to the microwave is microwave popcorn that you don't have to buy. You can just make it at home. Okay. And it never fails. So you get South Africa's favorite ice cream. This is a good one because you actually have to go and buy tin roof ice cream from Woolies. I mean, South Africa is obsessed with it.
So you got more incentive to finish the tub
right, because you need the tub. That's what you need. So 2-liter tub, and it works with a 2-liter tub. Don't try using the 5-liter tubs. I found that the popcorn doesn't really pop that well in the bigger tubs, and I think it's because of the amount of heat that builds up in a smaller tub. So, 2-liter ice cream container.
Wait, you're talking like we're going to heat the stuff in the tub. What?
You are.
Wait, what?
You are.
Okay, I'm listening.
I'm telling you, it's going to change your popcorn like game forever. So, baking paper. Don't use wax paper. It's going to start a fire. Baking paper. There's a difference. Okay, wax paper, obviously wax lined. You don't want to heat that up in the microwave. Make sure the popcorn seeds, no. Baking paper, cool.
Baking paper, not wax paper.
So you line the inside with the baking paper, then popcorn seeds. And all you're going to do is you're going to add it.
I'm so confused. I'm like, what's going to happen? How are you going to heat the... This doesn't make sense. I'm like, are you going to put the tub on the plate and then the plastic's going to melt? You put it in the oven, the plastic's... I don't understand.
Lid on, but you make sure like the one corner is just open a little bit. Okay, cool. Microwave, 2 minutes. Okay.
All right.
So the baking paper stops the plastic from melting because it insulates the heat.
Okay.
Things start happening in there.
Yeah.
And it's a better way to not burn popcorn seeds. So like this, I should have told you about this pre-winter while you were chilling watching movies.
Man, you just left us to eat cold popcorn.
I'm sorry, guys, but this is how you do it. This is absolutely how you do it. It works every single time.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so now I understand why the 5-liter doesn't work, because it might not even fit into the microwave to start with.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then obviously, like I said, the fact that it needs that heat to build up to actually get the popcorn to pop.
All right, okay.
You like that one?
I love that one, man. Thank you.
Okay.
Listen, we got a lot of questions also about what I believe was, I think it was you and G last week were actually doing some stuff in the microwave.
Right.
We had some questions coming through as well. I actually got some here which I wanted to check out. The first one was actually from Diane Roman. She wants to know why when I make fudge, does it always come up, when I make it in the microwave, why does it turn out and come out like toffee?
Okay.
So why does it go solid fudge, makes it in the microwave, and then it turns to toffee?
Microwaves have different strengths, which I've found out recently while I was testing recipes for these microwave segments. So what you want to do is you want to check the wattage on a recipe when it comes to a microwave recipe, and they actually give it to you. So the thing is, you're probably caramelizing your sugar before the mixture's actually cooking properly.
Okay.
So number one, make sure you mix the ingredients really well. And then number two, just check the wattage on the recipe and what your microwave wattage is, because you might need to, and microwaves do this. I didn't even know my microwave also does it. You can turn down the power.
What?
Right?
What?
You know when some microwaves have the old school ones?
Yeah.
They go low, medium, high, defrost.
Okay.
Turn it down, because sometimes what happens is your microwave's too powerful. It's like Ralph. I mean, just too powerful.
Sorry, Clem, I can't help it.
And you caramelize the sugars too quickly. So that's another one. Microwave fudge is also a notoriously tricky one to get right. So it's practice. It is practice as well.
Practice makes perfect. Practice gets you hacks like that. The popcorn's popping, so while we get to that, that is unfortunately all the time we have for the culinary hotline. Bling! Ting, ting, ting! And thank you all so much for joining us. I hope you were entertained, educated, and of course, the belly will be fed. Popcorn time!
Get an insurance quote for your home or car and stand a chance to win one of 8 Samsung Galaxy S21 phones plus 100 gigs of Standard Bank mobile data for a year. To enter, SMS the keyword motor to 31492 to get a call back and quote, and you could be a winner.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, everybody. I know it looks like you're seeing double, but no, Shekinah's still with us, everybody. And you just living your best life.
I couldn't help myself. All those hacks in the kitchen, it got my belly just yearning. And I thought, with a beauty like this, let me just eat my popcorn and enjoy the show.
Enough for one. I see. Like, who does that? He makes like a portion
I
of
normally
one.
would, but unfortunately, with COVID and social distancing, I have to have this to myself.
Can't tell it. It's all right. Well, one thing is undeniable about award-winning singer and songwriter and all-round wonderful human being Shekinah is that she is different and stands far apart from the crowd. We are presenting the music video for her track Different, featuring Marishan off her certified platinum debut album. I'll say it again, platinum, baby. This is Rose Gold. But she's also so familiar because we love her so much. Thank you so much for gracing us with the presence this morning. Happy travels. Good luck with the performances abroad and everything on the cards.
Thank you.
Never forget how much we love you. And likewise, you guys at home, we love you so much. Thank you for joining us. We will see you bright and early tomorrow morning to do it all over
Happy
again.
spring, everybody.
Adios, muchachos.
Here's to baking the winter blues away and trying new adventurous recipes to put the spring back in your step. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.
What have you decided? Were you going to shoot yours there?
At the beach. I'm gonna ask Tolly to help me.
Okay.
And give him some cash.
So
I
much
was thinking, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, and I was like, shit, he's actually unemployed. It's perfect.
Perfect, yeah.
It's actually, I'm gonna maybe check to him to become. I checked the mind. My mind seems to be stressed out for sure, man. He's got like work and things. He's got man, maybe. So I've used him before. It's just, I don't like it when someone's like, I want you to be excited.
Present, and yeah.
I want to do this. Can I shoot with you? As opposed to it being like a burden and then. Yeah, sorry, at least I'm going to pay you for your services. Like,
Yeah.
I want it to be
Do you think Tolly's going to be excited about it? Tolly's going to be, nah, you funny, me, bro, nah, that's not quite.
We'll see.
Enjoy. I want to do boys' drive along there.
Jamie, I'll go change. Our guest is here. I'm so here. So we can get down and go home, man. Yeah. I'm so good for
Here's the popcorn. Thank you for bringing Chicana. Can we now bring Jimmy Nevis? Thank you.
He doesn't like performing on the
Garnish.
floor.
Is it?
He's a diva.
Is it? What a... Also, do you need
They said to make it healthy.
No.